we find ourselves once again in the abyss. At the end of the last session, you guys had found a little robot, and you had named it Flip. Good job. Then you guys went back to bed and are subsequently healing all of your disgusting wounds from the bird attacks that you guys suffered from before. From here on out, you guys can just take time to heal. I'm going to say it takes about another day to fully heal with all the artifacts that you guys are equipped with, like in the medical part of the secret camp. Like after that day, everything is gone. So you guys are back up to 100%.
I guess this is kind of a question, like an out of character question. As cave raiders, do we feel any onus to like rid the abyss of dangerous creatures, or is it more just like, no, they're just gonna be there and it's whatever?
I think there actually have been, like, canonically things where cave raiders have gone through and tried to exterminate things in certain areas, and maybe in small scales it kind of works, but there really is no eradicating everything. Like, the creatures really are dangerous enough to where it's just not worth it to try to go about doing something like that.
All right, so it's probably not worth it to like go back and kill that bird so that we can have access to the fruits more consistently for other people.
Right, yeah. And that is kind of a thread that we didn't fully follow up on. That's not really what I'm going to be going into today, because for the viewers, I did ask out of character what the party was going to be interested in doing next, because as of this point, it is all up for you guys to decide where exactly you wanted to go. There is no onus for anything else. Like, Ozen didn't have any specific tasks for you guys at this point. I wanted to kind of avoid just doing another, like, go slay this many things, type of deal. So the idea is that the party's going to go on an adventure of their own, all by themselves, and just see what happens. So I'm going into this session with that kind of, thought process in place. So please, let's continue that thread. Otherwise, it will all my work will have been pointless.
I actually kind of changed my mind. I think I want to go back to town.
We're doing a beach episode.
Oh boy. All right. So after you guys get up and are all spry again, I'm going to say that Flip in the background, unless you guys had any other thoughts about what they do while you guys were healing, Maruk would probably just be showing them around the base and kind of showing how things work and just getting them kind of up to speed on the cave raider lifestyle. You know what I mean? Is there anything that you guys would like to show Flip? Like when you wake up and are all good to go?
No.
Okay, cool. All right. No, that's fine. We can just move forward. So, is there anything that you guys want to do before going on this little adventure of yours? I know one of the last things we also said is you wanted to kind of test out Flip's abilities, because once you turned off the artifact negation thing, the disruptor, I think was the actual name for it, then certain things on them kind of sprung up to life, and they don't have full control. Like, they don't fully understand everything that they have, like all their capabilities. So you guys were going to play around with that a little bit. But if you do, Ozen asks that you do that not at the camp for fear of accidentally possibly blowing up the entire place.
Yeah, it's probably wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take him out of safe distance and have him do sick flips and shoot lasers and stuff. Also, Gil, what are you going to do about your hand?
I mean, I'd live this long without it. I'm pretty sure I can go a little bit until I can whip up something new.
All right, fair enough.
My balance is off a little bit, though, so it might take some getting used to.
Maruk chimes in and says, I think we have some, just metal ball things in the abyss processing. I'm sure I could, whip up something just to make the weight balance right for you.
What do y'all just have metal balls for?
Ball bearings, of course.
How big are these ball bearings?
They are relatively small, relative to hand size, but they are very dense. They're meant for the elevator mechanism, so It will probably look pretty stupid, but the weight will at least feel right.
I mean, you could punch real good with that.
Probably could, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take what I can get for now.
I love the imagery of this. So Maruk just goes and fashions you like it. So the ball bearing, let's say it's like 2.5 inches in diameter, but it's like it is just solid metal. So it's actually like pretty damn hefty.
I mean, was my former fist not solid metal?
No, it wasn't. That was made out of the lightweight abyssal material. Remember that shattered apart when you tried to punch the boy, the little robot.
Cool. I got a little heavy ball on my arm.
I was picturing like a cannonball, like a fist-sized thing at first, but you said it's like 2 or 3 inches.
Well, think of how much like a hand weighs, and then imagine a solid steel ball and how big it would have to be the same weight as a hand. It would.
No, all right. It's good. It's like, you know, like Barbie dolls when you like take off the head. There's the little nubbin. It's like your arm now.
You got them. Oh god.
Fucking bionicle.
Maybe this is the start of how you get like interchangeable hands. This is your little like nubbin.
Oh god,
attached.
yeah, that's actually good. You can like just like you said, like a bionicle, you can like snap on a hand to it.
He could just walk around with his grappling hook ready to go.
That is also true. that is always there.
Quick question. Where would Flip, like, when we were staying for the night or wherever, where would Flip have wanted to, like, sleep?
Probably, like, with you guys, mostly just because, once again, they don't have really any experience with much of anything at this point, and the only thing they have to go by is Finn telling them to trust you. So that is what it's going to do as of right now. And of course, Maruk is nice enough, and so are the other cave riders. Ozen's pretty standoffish and doesn't really care all that much, but they can make friends just fine, but it is still ultimately loyal to you. So unless you tell it to go sleep somewhere else, then that'll probably sleep in the same room as you.
Yeah,
So he's just a follower in Skyrim, basically.
Pretty much, actually.
I think, like, if Flip was staying in the room with Gil, like, that night, Gil would have just, like, been asking Flip, like, a billion questions about Finn.
Mm-hmm. So Flip doesn't have all that much to say because the only thing that they remember, and of course, I don't want to go too out of character with this because, like, Gil and the rest of everyone wouldn't know the specifics. The only thing that they have to go by is the letter and what the robot remembers. And the first thing the robot remembers is like waking up only a day or two before they became good friends with Finn. And they only knew Finn for a couple days before everything kind of went down because Bondrewd was getting his final preparations to like transfer himself into the robot. So when it came online, it was only a few days before he was kind of like undergoing final prep just to like make sure that everything was like working properly, like it actually had like proper motor controls and stuff like that. So I don't know if you want to like, you know, feel out the robot. Like, of course, it kind of looks like a bit like Frankenstein in the face, but it is kind of like a combination of like human skin and kind of like what Reg was described as. It's almost like God, I almost want to describe it as like super leathery, kind of like your skin. It's like really, really durable. You know what I mean?
Runs in the family.
Right, yeah. I imagine Finn probably has a little bit of that going for him too.
All right, and the only, like, at least from like a distance, the only very obvious thing that he's not, or that Flip's not human is the tail, correct?
Right, yeah. I mean, the rest of him looks like, imagine literally what like Mega Man X looks like, and that's what they look like, except for the crazy face, and the purple line part is kind of like the old medieval style helmet that like has that part that flips up and down. That part has the purple line on it, so they can flip it down, so the only thing that you can really see is like its mouth, but then, you know, they can just make it flip up and then you can see their entire face. But yeah, the most striking, like, inhuman feature about them is the tail. I guess, unless you count the fact that they have a metal body everywhere else. But I mean, I guess cave raiders also, kind of cloak themselves in armor usually. So I mean, just look at like any of the Umbra hands; they kind of look like that too.
How tall did you say that they stood? I know that they were somewhat childish sized, but like
right around 5 feet. Yeah, it's like
right
5
around
feet.
5 feet. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
not too tiny.
No. It kind of looks like a young teenager.
But with a tail.
Yeah, I guess.
That awkward tail phase teenagers go through.
Something like that, yeah.
Don't you have a monster arm?
Shit, when you're right, you're right.
Cool. So I know you guys had said out of character that you maybe wanted to stop by like the entrance to the third layer. Is that still true?
Yeah, just getting our delving skills better.
Yeah, sounds good. How long of a trip are you guys thinking about taking?
A little afternoon picnic.
At maximum speed, what would be, the most reasonable amount of time to get to the third layer even?
I'd say probably about a day to get to the entrance of the third layer.
I was thinking we should have a conversation with Ozen about Flip anyway. Mm-hmm. We can kind of like talk to Ozen about what going down to the third would look like.
Yeah, so I guess her thoughts on that are when it comes to testing out Flip's abilities, because like it really is kind of a big unknown. Around the entrance to the third layer, like it starts becoming purely rock, all the vegetation goes away, so it might just be a good testing ground for that, because like you won't burn down a forest or anything if something like crazy happens. Also, I know you guys had said that you just wanted to take like an extended journey, kind of like, on your own, where you don't have any specific objectives, you're just delving for the sake of delving.
Well, I also meant talk to Ozen more about like the implication of Flip's existence, as well as like what Finn told us about what Bondrud's doing.
Oh, I gotcha. I'm trying to think of what would her true thoughts on that would be. So I know you say you share like the letter in its entirety with everyone, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And I guess after a couple more days, the rest of the delving crew comes back, as well as Jiro. Would you share it with them?
I mean, and I would consult the others as well, but I think sharing it with Jiro, but just Jiro when it comes to like non-important personnel.
Right, yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, you at the end of the episode, you said that you didn't include Simred, which was kind of a joke at the time, but it might actually be true if you only want Ozen and Jiro to know about it. I mean, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, pretty much like Ozen, Maruk, and Jiro, just because like keeping the existence of Flip to absolute minimum is pretty important at this point.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's say you guys get like, once Jiro gets back, you get like a powwow going with them. Do you guys have any initial thoughts for them on that? Because I do kind of want this to be driven by you, and even Ozen is kind of curious as to how you guys would handle this. She's not going to completely take over this responsibility at all, because she also just doesn't want to get on Bondrud's bad side. It's kind of well known that if white whistles like go toe to toe with each other, like really bad things can result from that. So she's kind of taking a back seat, but will assist in whatever ways that you can think of. Jiro, on the other hand, is, a little bit more involved in this specific, storyline. He will help him whatever you guys think of, but he definitely doesn't think it would be a good idea to take Flip up to the surface, because that might cause a little bit of a stir.
I mean, I guess the big question is, what do we do about Bondrud? Like, you heard Finn. I mean, he made this thing. Sorry, Flip. But he made Flip, and it's only a matter of time before he can whip something up again.
I mean, but what can we do even? Frickin' white whistle.
Jiro chimes in there and says, well, it is something that you guys shouldn't really have to deal with. I'm sorry you got roped into all this. I mean, you are only blue whistles and only have been in the abyss for a couple months at this point. So it really should fall on us to handle some of these bigger things. That said, I don't think it would be a good idea to go after Bondrewd for either of us as it is anyway. I will say that from the information that I gathered, it seems like this robot took many years by themselves. It's possible that Bondrewd could get another one going, but it's definitely going to take more time, and it's probably going to take more supplies, if you know what I mean. And the one thing I can promise is that I'm going to try everything in my power to prevent that aspect from happening. So, at least for a while, as long as you keep Flip safe, I can prevent him from making another one at least.
I mean, last time we tried to stop Bondrewd from getting supplies, big thing in our way was not having people believe us, right? At least when it came to the guild and everything. But this is proof, right? I mean, people can't turn a blind eye at this point.
I mean, what is it proof of? It's not necessarily proof of anything despicable.
I mean, it's proof that Bondrewd's using children to create things and transferring his consciousness into bodies that ain't his.
There's a certain level of plausible deniability that he could have and definitely would attempt to take.
I guess you're right, but I mean, it's still more than we had last time.
I will say, one thing that I've been trying to put together is an actual small group of people that I think will be on our side on this one. Once again, I don't think it would be good for it to be general knowledge, but there's definitely a few people that I will completely trust in telling them and can help me prevent this from happening in the future. Last time we were kind of caught on our back foot because I didn't even know he was coming up at the moment. If you remember, I was just up there for my white whistle ceremony, and all of a sudden he was up. We hadn't even fought more than 2 days prior. He was all the way down at the bottom. And somehow he managed to make it to the top in that time along with backup.
Well, I mean, he has the airship, right?
So the airship, just out of character, you guys would know this at this point, but it's mainly for going down. Like, it is not meant for ascension. It is basically kind of like, I don't even think it has the capability to go up, if not for just like short bursts.
So he just keeps building more airships and dropping them into the hole? Where do the airships come from?
He builds them up on the surface. They're not very complicated. All they really are is big.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, think of it as like building a boat. It's all it really is.
I thought it was, for whatever reason, I thought it was like one airship that he had.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it does have super balloons that can't be popped by harpoons.
That's true. He might bring, re-get those things, like salvage those parts and bring them up, but the entire room itself is basically just a big box of metal.
So, Jiro, do you think Ozen and his boys have found some way to neutralize the curse? Because otherwise, you're right, how would they have gotten up that quickly?
Honestly, that's something that they just have a lot of experience with. The people that were with him directly, he definitely had people that were already prepping the shipment up top. So I think most of the people that you saw there were already there prepping, but the fact that he got up, it might have to do with previous experiments that he's been doing that help negate the curse, but it's a temporary thing. I don't really want to go into detail on it here, but let's just say I'm not super surprised that he managed to make it up that fast, as in his ability. What I was surprised at is that he decided to. I just didn't know that he had one of those shipments set up and ready to go. It just apparently happened to coincide with the investigation my team was doing on him. It was bad timing on my part. Next time, we're going to be prepared. I've got Hoblog, and actually from you guys, I talked to Lex as well. He seems like someone that we can trust in this sort of manner. So I've got a couple other people that I think with our efforts combined that we can at least prevent this type of disaster from happening again. Once again, I hate to involve you guys in this because it's really, it's kind of beyond your level at this point. I really don't think that there's a whole lot that you can do against him. And that's not downing on your abilities, but I'm trying to be realistic here. When it comes to what your duty is right now, please just keep Flip safe and keep him away from everything that's going on involved with that.
All right. Well, then I guess it's time for us to just go get in some practice on our own then.
Woo! Do you guys have anything else you want to say before you go off on your journey?
Jiro, you didn't directly fight Bondrewd when you were down there, right?
He sighs and says, well, I specifically did not face against the man with the purple line, although it's kind of blurring around who's who based on the letter from Finn. It's actually kind of all coming together after his explanation. I think I recall reading something about the Zooaholic in the past, but it disappeared many years ago. No one ever actually knew what happened to it. It looks like Bondrewd got his hands on it. I'm not exactly sure how it all works, but when it comes down to it, when you're fighting against the Umberhand down there, I'm not sure if you can really fully understand who you're fighting against. From what Bondrewd said, I went up against Finn and may have accidentally done some damage to him, and I apologize for that. But in my mind, I was fighting Bondrewd, if that makes sense.
Well, I was just thinking, he made Finn to, I guess, possibly put his consciousness in him, right? What if the Bondrewd that's there is already something like Flip, like not human?
From what I've gathered, Bondrewd himself is probably more of an entity at this point. From what I remember about the Zooaholic, the people that interacted with it slowly went insane the more they used it, and it sounds like he's kind of fully committed to using it, so he must have been using it for many, many years now, so who knows what his thought processes are right now. He definitely still has followers, that's for sure, but it's kind of hard to say which ones are truly helping on their own accord versus who are being controlled by him. I will say, and this is slightly out of character, Ian, you still haven't seen the movie yet, the Abyss movie?
No.
Yeah, this is pretty spoilery for that, and I do apologize, but...
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, it's all good. When it comes to the Zooaholic, because of course Morgan, Nick, you both know what is at least the baseline function, how it works. It is never fully explained, like the true intricacies of how everything works with the Zooaholic in the manga or the anime. I have kind of come up with my own very specific rules because it is important if you guys are going to be like actually going toe to toe and experimenting with that it does have very concrete rules. I'm not going to explain exactly what they are here because like you guys will just have to figure that out on your own. But know that everything that like happens in the show and stuff still holds true. But there are some intricacies to how it all works that I've kind of come up with on my own.
Watch the next chapter come out like right after we record this.
I know.
Completely blow it out of the water.
Yeah. Anything else for the White Whistle team?
No.
Yeah, y'all just take care of yourselves. We'll take care of Flip and see where this leads, I suppose.
Yeah. The other good thing is that you guys have that map on you, and I can always see where you guys are if worse comes to worse. Yeah, if you remember that's like both of you guys have the map, and on the map, anyone else who has one, you can see like a dot on the map where it is, and it's labeled. Right now, there are 3 maps in existence. You have one, Jiro has one, and Shiggy has one up on the surface.
Is there a range to it? I thought for some reason we couldn't see where Jiro was.
I think it was because he was exploring new shit.
Yeah, so you can see where the dot is, but the syncing that happens that updates the map, that like transfers all of the map data, you have to bring them physically together for that to happen. They can be across the abyss or in unexplored areas, and the dot will show up. The problem is that if it
It'll
hasn't
just show up like in the middle of like an abyss or
Exactly.
a blank spot.
Yes, yeah. So you can't really discern any specific information about where they're at.
Gotcha. All right, well, that's better than nothing.
Hey, what do y'all think is gonna happen with that with the fruit and that bird?
Yeah, have you told them about that?
I know we told. I don't think we ever roleplayed it, but we said we were going to tell Ozen for sure, because that's like right up her alley.
Yeah, because I think we agreed that it's like anything that is going to help Delvers not die, we want everyone to know about.
Yeah, if you tell them about it, that they both say that, oh, interesting, and that they will definitely investigate it further and check it out. Do you actually do anything with the letter from Shane? That was the guy who had the frog legs and left the journal. And God, I forget the name of the person he was interested in up on the surface.
Thought we were gonna hold on to it and try to find her when we.
I mean, only
went up.
vague threats of taking away my frog legs.
Yeah, honestly, like Ozen is completely on your side on that one. She's like, nah, you should definitely keep it for now. Well, Sharla, yeah. Well, we'll find Sharla later, but for now, make use of them. Jiro is a little bit less on that side, but hey, he goes along with it too.
This is why he thinks Jiro's a pussy.
He doesn't have quite the cold indifference that Ozen has, at least yet. He's still young.
I don't think anyone really has the cold indifference that Ozen has.
Yeah,
I'm
good
trying.
point.
I'm trying.
All right, let's say you guys set off on your journey. Is the first destination you guys are going to pretty much making a beeline for the for kind of like the edge of the third layer to test out Flip's abilities?
I feel like we should try to do that as soon as possible, not necessarily go through a bunch of dangerous shit first.
Yeah.
Because if his ability is to accidentally laser us, let's do that closer to the safety.
We don't have to roleplay every little aspect of like moving around in the abyss, because at least until we get to a specific part, it's all just going to be kind of a little free form. The one thing I kind of do want to get from you guys a little bit is some character interaction, because once again, this is the first time you guys are kind of going out for your own sake and not going out for a specific task. So you'll have some time to just like chill out with each other and like hang out, like just the four of you at this point. I know Flip's kind of a new addition here, but yeah, you won't have a goal in mind. This is all for you.
Baby.
I know at least for Ahi, it's going to be super awkward, just like sitting there and like trying not to bring up Finn and like all these huge revelations. Just like, these rations aren't too bad this time. Yeah, huh? Mm-hmm.
Do you think you guys would get into some more difficult topics and stuff? Do you think you would broach Gil on these things and like really start to grill him about stuff?
Ahi would not. No. Too much of a coward.
Would
I think I'm too much of a coward.
I was gonna say he's a curious little boy, curious to a fault even, but
That is true. No, I'm definitely gonna be talking to Flip a lot. Be like, so, what's up with the tail?
Hell yes.
I too have a monster part.
He does find that very interesting.
It's like he doesn't even have context to know that that's not normal.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah. It's like, oh, you have fur on one of your hands? Cool. I'm all metal. I don't know. Is that normal? Seems like most of you guys are made out of like flesh.
Yes, we are flesh boys. No, how about while we're walking, I'll say. So, Flip, the letter said that you get more nourishment from tasty food, or you just enjoy tasty food even though you can't eat anything?
So the letter said specifically that he can ingest pretty much anything that has
Like nutritional value.
yeah, chemical energy to it. It's not even necessarily like human nutritional value. It's literally like you could probably pour like gasoline into him and it might work out.
I don't know, man. The letter specifically says any matter.
Yeah. After I wrote that, I was like, I don't know if I want
to
turn Flip into a free energy machine.
Yeah. I think it should still be stuff that has like latent energy. Like you wouldn't just be able to put like rocks into him and he'd be like a free energy source. But
so you want to change it to organic matter?
Yeah, just something that makes a little bit more sense. I mean, honestly,
just
it might be
coal.
I mean, that would work. Yeah. It might honestly, like in the context of the letter, it could just be that like Finn doesn't truly know like what the capabilities of Flip is at this point, and from the things that he was eating, like random plants and stuff, it may have seemed.
Yeah, you're gonna tell me he didn't just sit there and hand him random ass shit and be like, "Hey, eat this."
Right. Right. Yeah.
Hey, eat this bicycle chain real quick.
Yes, but so they can ingest anything, but they do have essentially normal human taste buds, so they still have like the sensation of like good versus bad taste. So while you can have them drink gasoline, they will not enjoy it.
Gasoline would have so many calories though, like if we could digest it.
Yeah.
Well, the point I was trying to make leading up to that was well, actually, so we did say, or the letter did say he does enjoy like tasty human food, right? I feel like it mentioned that.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah. So not that specifically he enjoys it, because there really isn't all that much tasty food down in there. Bondrewd enjoys his shitty Soylent rations. That's pretty much what they eat down there, because it is highly nutritious, but not very tasteful. The only thing that Finn gathered is that they do have taste buds and can taste and can recognize, decent tasting things. So that does not mean that Flip has had an actually really good meal. I'll say that. Yeah.
In that case.
Oh boy. I'll say that. Yeah. It's while you guys were unconscious and recovering, and maybe like one of the days that you're still there, you treated him to a good meal, and they were like, oh.
Yeah. We'll say I saved a spaghetti dinner for us to eat when we like make camp, and I'll be like, so I take it you've never had spaghetti.
Oh, hell yeah. And he's like, well, no, I haven't. And he eats some. It's like, oh,
no,
my.
I'm saving it for when we make camp.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Your first time eating spaghetti is not something to be taken lightly.
It's
a full body experience.
That's to be shared like in the night across a campfire, sharing stories and feelings. The true
Your
spaghetti
first time
moment.
having spaghetti is a magical experience. Can't just do it while you're walking around.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I'll just say like, I'd love for you to try some spaghetti. Get some real tasty food.
Hell yeah. They are excited for that.
Nice.
So let's say that because you guys have kind of gotten pretty familiar with this area, and like literally all you have to do, it's like distance-wise, it's actually not all that far. You pretty much just have to go to the edge of the abyss and then loop back around to the flat part and then walk straight to the center. And then after some time, the vegetation starts to die out, and then it becomes rockier and rockier. And then in the distance, you can see the giant kilometer-wide hole that is the entrance to the third layer. And you can see that it like glows with light. It's almost like light is refracting through the second layer in the center, and it's like making it to the third layer. So while even where you guys are like not too distant away is kind of dark, like the third layer itself is like very, very bright.
This is far enough out, right, guys? Just nervously look back at how far we've gone from the secret camp. But this is good, right?
I think it's good.
You can see the twinkle of the telescope in the far distance.
I wave at Marut.
The instant we get to some rocks, I'm going to use the compression cube to basically make a stone fist that has a 2.5 diameter ball socket in the bottom of it.
Yes! Oh my god, that's fucking beautiful. God, you do that.
Just like new.
Oh god, yeah. Does it like pivot around? Like, how much does it pivot? Like, how tight is it on that socket?
It's like very, very low tolerance, so it doesn't like just flop around.
Right, yeah. God, I love
Yeah,
it.
Gil, I didn't want to say anything, but the ball looked like shit, man.
Yeah, but now it's like heavier than it was before, so my balance is off again.
I believe in you, big guy.
I'll get used to it.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Hell yeah. So now that you guys are here, I'm going to give you like a very in-depth overview of what's going on with Flip, because I imagine like if you guys are going to try and test out everything, then I'm going to have to give you a pretty accurate description of all the parts on the various parts of their body.
His features.
Yeah. So obviously he's got the big purple line on his head. He's got the tubes on the underside of his forearms. That's where all the black ooze came out of before, that he was kind of like using to get around and like latch on to stuff. There is on the outside of his forearm, it seems to be like where it meets the elbow, there is a small jewel there. Don't really know what that could be, but that is a notable feature. They've got the tail, and they've also got some serrated parts on their hands and feet as well. And that's everything that you can initially kind of like discern just by your eyes. Everything else is kind of just like smoothly like inlaid into it. It like everywhere else kind of just looks like Mega Man. You know what I mean? Like just smooth.
So what are we trying first?
All right, little man. I just want to make it clear, you can do what you want, all right? You don't just have to always do what we tell you. But just this one time, I feel like we should get this all out of the way so we know what we're working with, and in a survival situation, we know what we can count on you for. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, that sounds all right to me. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going for here. I guess when it comes to the under my forearms thing, I just kind of focus on it a little bit. How close are you guys like standing to him when he starts like
So fucking far, like, and also behind a big rock.
right? Yeah. So it's just kind of
I'd probably be close enough to like have my hand on his shoulder in this moment.
really okay.
I'm somewhere between Ahi and the rock, like a distance away, but journal out, pen ready.
Right. Yeah. He kind of starts just like looking around, and it's like whenever I do the tendril thing, I kind of think about it in a specific way, and at that point, like the black tendril kind of just like shoots out and like grabs a rock where he's looking, and then like yoinks it back into his hand. It's like, yeah, it seems kind of effortless. I wonder. And he starts kind of like feeling around the various things, and he like clenches his hand like really quick, and the hand looks a little bit less like Reg's hand. It's not quite as like, if you remember, that was kind of like flat at the front. It was kind of like, it didn't really look all that much like a hand, and it also had the jewel in the center for the incinerator. It does look more like a normal hand, except for like you can see some like blade like things that are inlaid into it. So when he kind of looks at it and like concentrates on it, those blades like completely retract out of his hand, and he almost looks like fucking Edward Scissorhands, and like they're really long and look like he kind of like moves it around a little bit, and like they seem to be purely like prehensile, so he can like reach out kind of far and like latch on to things really easily. So it's how like he could pretty much climb on almost any terrain if he needed to. After that like pops out of his hand, are you still holding his shoulder, Gil?
I think I'm going back away just a little bit.
He then moves on to the elbow thing, and after concentrating on it for a second, a bright light emits out from it and creates what seems to be almost like a lightsaber that emits out from it about 3 feet long and comes out the back of him. So you can imagine it that it is projecting backwards from where his forearm is pointed. So like if he was bending his elbow, it would be coming out the back of it. Does that make sense? I imagine,
Yeah.
Morgan and Dezenny, you know exactly what I mean. Ian, you probably might have a harder time picturing this.
Yeah, is this a reference to like a distinct character or something?
It's a thing in the movie, that Bondrewd
Gotcha.
has. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just think about it. If you attached a lightsaber on your forearm aimed backwards and then turned it on, that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
Cool.
sounds good.
And that lasts a few seconds and then it goes out. And after that happens, Flip kind of like teeters back and forth a little bit and then collapses on the ground and doesn't move for a little bit. And he's just motionless on the ground.
Yeah, he's probably
Classic
fine.
reg behavior.
do you do anything initially? Like, do you rush up to him or do you like chill for a minute and see what happens?
I'd rush up to him.
Okay.
Hey, you all right? Let's get some rations in you.
He seems to be like not quite unconscious, but like very, very dazed. But after a few seconds, he actually gets up and stands up on one knee and it's like, oh man, that really it took a lot out of me. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just kind of collapsed for a second. Everything's kind of coming back though. I think I kind of went full force with that. I might be able to control the length of that a little bit, and I think I kind of just went all out. But, oh, man, I'm feeling a little hungry.
I'll break out the spaghetti now.
I take a little break to do, just a camp setup before continuing.
Or I can just, give him just food.
How dare you? No.
All right, I'll give him this. We don't have to, set up camp, but I'll just be like, here, eat this.
You could give him, a jerky ration, the only thing left that we had was the purple wine, and then we can go into the camp, so...
Yeah, you gotta save the spaghetti for the full first meal.
All right, here, eat some fruit leather.
He takes it and seems to absolutely love it. Like, compared to the stuff that they were having down in the 5th layer, pretty much everything that they eat is, very, very tasty. Their eyes light up. It's like, Tom, this is really good. What exactly is this? It's, kind of sweet, but also...
Leathery.
Yeah, it's, dry.
It's fruit leather I made from this weird tree we found a while ago.
Beautiful.
Oh shit, spaghetti's gonna blow your mind, kid.
Blows
Yeah,
my
if-
mind every time.
If fruit leather is the best thing you've ever had,
I know.
Oh boy. So Danny moves on to the helmet part, and after thinking about it for a second, he plays around with the function where it basically flips up and down over his face, and he doesn't actually have to flip it up with their hands or anything. It just kind of does it on its own. And then after a second, you see the purple line glow really bright, and he kind of looks around in confusion for a second, and then concentrates on a rock in the distance, and all of a sudden 20 bright purple lights just emit from that. It's almost like they're lasers, and they scatter about in all different directions, and after a second they all steer towards that rock and converge and all hit it at the same point, and it is just reduced to dust.
laser vision, classic. I knew it, guys. What did I say before? Backflips and lasers.
Was it the rock that Ahi was hiding behind?
You know what? That would actually be hilarious. He looks over to Ahi just out of confusion, and then does that, and the rock is just gone. But you're fine.
But before the rock is gone, Gil's already getting some jerky ready.
Until after doing that again, once again, Flip kind of not as intensely as when they did the lightsaber thing. They kind of teeter for a second and get their wits about them, and it only takes maybe 3 or 4 seconds to be back fully up and ready to go. But it is definitely something that takes up a large amount of energy per se. Flip is oh man, guys, I'm really hungry now.
Eat some more jerky now. We'll have a full meal later.
Hell yeah. That's actually all I had as far as experimentation to start off with. So
Should we just walk a little further than make camp?
I was actually wondering, were you guys going to try and make it camp in this rocky, kind of desolate area near the third layer, or would you go back into the second layer?
I mean, resident creature expert. Which one is the safer bet?
Absolutely back in the forest. Being next to the third layer is really dangerous.
That. Let's go back to the forest where it's a little more sheltered. It's not very safe by the third layer.
Yeah. You guys still, like, aren't quite up to the edge. Would you actually go up to the edge and kind of, like, peer in?
Yeah.
You can hear, like, distant, like, just monster sounds in the background.
Oh god.
They still sound distant, like, even when you get close to the edge, like, they're further down into the third layer, but they're definitely there.
Come on, I gotta take a peek.
Nightmares. Cool.
Can't wait to go down there tomorrow.
Are you planning on going down into the third layer?
Yeah, I thought we were just going down to, like, the edge of it. Are we?
No one would recommend that you go into the third layer. Purple whistles and up are allowed to. You are merely blue whistles. But you don't have to listen to that.
Yeah, rules don't apply to us.
Just leaving our options open for our little solo adventure.
You guys go up and peer over the edge, and it is kind of unlike any sight that you guys have ever seen before. Like I said, it is really, really bright in here. You guys have kind of been in the Seeker Camp and Hanging Forest for kind of a while, so it's been a little bit since you've seen some proper sunlight and just like brightness in general. It is almost blinding when you look inside this place before your eyes adjust, and it is the single tallest thing you have ever seen in your entire lives. Of course, at a certain distance, the field of the abyss takes over and makes it essentially look more and more cloudy as you go down. So it's almost like a Minecraft fog, if you will. But yeah, it is still just a sheer wall for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet down into what appears to be nothingness.
Terrible. All right, well, let's go set up camp.
You can also see creatures kind of just flying around, making noise.
Oh heck yeah.
What type of creatures?
Hey Tom, what's that one called?
It's a wang doodle. I don't know, man.
That's
I need to
pretty
like
good.
have a list of these at the ready.
Beautiful. All right, you guys go back and set up camp in the forest somewhere, as you said. I want to hear some character interaction here. I want to hear some heart to hearts. Lay it on me.
Hey, Tom, Ahi, Flip, I guess you too. Do you think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is like good for movies overall? Or do you think it's like bad for us as consumers?
You know, Gil, I just don't care about that. I pull out a piece of coal and I give it to Flip and I say, eat this and compare it not in flavor, but for sustenance. Which fills you up more, this or the fruit jerky?
Please would be nice.
It sure would be. So which one fills you up more?
Flip eyes you curiously, takes it and looks at it for a second, and then just like pops it in their mouth and tries to chew on it and realizes like, I don't know if I can like chew that. And then they bite down really hard and there's this like loud sickening crack as like the charcoal just breaks apart in their mouth. And then they're just like, oh, it's really dry, Ahi. As they're like trying to like get it down. And after like a minute of trying, they ultimately get it down.
How filling was it?
Honestly, it's actually feeling pretty rejuvenated from that. Can I get some water though? My mouth feels a little uncomfortable. It's like a black soot everywhere. Just
Yeah, I give him some water. Fucking just grumbling to herself. Gosh, complains so much. I wish I could eat coal.
You're a monster.
Tell me, he's not the type of person that would just like eat for sustenance every day.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Are you still hungry, or do you want to wait before you have your spaghetti?
I'm still pretty hungry. That was pretty filling. He wasn't very tasty, but it definitely hit the spot. If you guys have that spaghetti, then I think I'd be down for some.
Oh, I have that spaghetti. All right, when you sit down, when you get comfortable, I like prepare a little bowl for him.
When you say that they're like standing initially, and then they just immediately like plop to the ground, kind of like how Dave flops on the ground.
Oh, all right. Are you comfortable? Is that good?
Yeah, I mean I'm lying down now, right? That's comfy.
Yeah, that's great, Flip. I'll just give him the spaghetti now. This
He
is my favorite food in the world.
he takes a bite, and their eyes absolutely light the fuck up. It's like, oh, Tom, this is, and then they just shovel the whole thing in their mouth, and it's like just gone.
Oh, that was supposed to last for 2 days, but all right, that's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, no, that was not in character.
I mean, for them, it like literally still would last for 2 days. So,
Yeah. I'm glad I could share that with you.
oh god, yes, it's the best tasting thing that they've ever had, and they are nice and full now.
Now you just can't go back to eating coal.
Unless you have to.
Honestly, I think the coal was more filling, but that spaghetti was way tastier. Ahi, would you like some coal? You say how good it is for sustenance. You should eat some.
I wish I could, Flip. I really wish I could.
Why
I mean,
can't
like
you?
Mahi,
Good.
have you tried?
Yeah, I guess you're right. No, of course I've not tried.
Yeah, it's honestly not that bad. Like once you get over the dryness, it really hit the spot.
I have a weak human stomach, guys, and you know that. 2 out of 3 of you know that.
I mean, do we know that? Come on, do it for
He starts
science.
getting more and more angry. You think it's because you're razzing her, but really it's just because she just hates her own human weakness.
It's a 50-50 if you're gonna grow up to be Ozen or
Dead.
fucking Bondrewd.
Oh god.
Whoa.
Just to make
whoa.
yourself into a monster so you don't have to eat food anymore.
I turned myself into a good monster.
Is that Ozen? I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely Ozen, isn't it?
Yeah. Just straddling. She's like chaotic neutral or something.
Yeah, I guess she would be neutral.
I definitely wouldn't quite call her good.
Yeah,
She's definitely not evil either, though. I think
but
she's.
she's not just like gonna let Bondrewd do like whatever. So
Oh, yeah.
is that true neutral?
Might be. Is there anything else that you guys would like to share with each other before you continue on your adventure tomorrow?
All right, team. In all seriousness, what's our plan from here on out? Like, I've got to take care of Flip now. I don't want you guys to have to just be stuck down here with me. I mean, y'all
shut
got
up.
people topside.
Shut up, Gil.
Yeah,
We're
but
not gonna
there's
split
no
up the party.
there's no creatures topside. So
Yeah,
if I'm gonna be
don't
down
be stupid
here,
about it.
we
Think.
might as well be down here with you.
Yeah.
All right, I am relieved to hear y'all say that.
Baka.
Or are we just gonna leave you and your son and be like, all right, you got too much baggage. See you later.
I mean, it's not like y'all be leaving me to die. I'd probably just hang around the seeker camp while we keep Flip a
Would
secret.
we though?
And yeah, and you get to go on the cool adventures and we just get to go home? I don't think so.
Besides, I can't just leave now. I still have questions about that tail.
Flips it around on the ground. What do you want to know?
What's up with that? With the tail?
I mean, I noticed that you guys don't have tails. Like, is that normal?
So remind me, he does have like a body under the metal. Or I guess I'll just ask them. There's like flesh under the rest of your armor, like your face, right? Like you can take the helmet off. Can you take anything else off?
Flip looks at you quizzically and is like, I'm not really exactly sure. And they like start knocking on themselves, like trying to feel if it's like hollow, whatnot. And like, I really don't know, Tom. I want to say that I'm all metal, but I feel like there's some fleshy bits on the inside as well.
I feel fleshy. I guess it's just there to help with balance and also be like an extra, like, not weapon, but, you can hit people with it.
Yeah, the metal's pretty tough. I've actually, on the way up, I ran into some pretty strong creatures and got attacked a number of times. I did get one scratch on me one place, and he holds out his arm, and on the, kind of near the elbow, where you wouldn't have necessarily seen before, like kind of in the crook of the elbow, you can see like a little bit of like a chip right there. And he's like, yeah, some big monster actually got me by the arm for a second, but I managed to just punch him off and I got away, so it all ended up okay, but it looks like I can still get a little bit banged up.
The real question is, when you get excited, does your tail wag?
Do you want it to wag when I get excited?
No, I'm just asking. I don't want you to do anything.
I could do that, and they start wagging around their tails. Like, is that? Do people normally wag their tails when they're excited?
Well, people don't normally have tails.
Oh, am I a little mutant boy?
Yeah.
Not even a boy. I'm a thing.
You're Flip. You're special. You're one of a kind, Flip.
Gives you a thumbs up. I was like, sweet.
Yeah, I don't know how to be comforting. I'm just a little boy.
It's okay. They don't look upset at all.
Yeah.
Why are you bullying the robot?
You made him eat coal.
I made them eat coal.
I'm so sorry.
Be respectful.
I'm sorry. You made them eat coal.
Yeah, I do get fixated on them looking like Reg, and I just want to say he, but it is not supposed to be that way. Oh, what did you say, Zenny?
Hey, Flip, do you pee or poop?
What does that mean?
All right, never mind. Don't worry about it.
If you don't know, then...
When you eat stuff, is it just all burned up inside you?
I mean, I assume so. Where else would it go?
Has anything ever come out of your body?
If you're like us, and everything's really inefficient, then you have to only digest some of it and then poop out the rest. And it's horrible.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
It is.
I'm sorry. Sorry you're stuck in your...
I don't like to dwell on the negatives.
Yeah.
Is Flip gonna find us like trying to take a morning poop later and be like, "What's that?
What smells so bad?
Dude, what's coming out of your butt?" Oh God.
The worst part is we're going to be in a situation where we don't have any organic matter to give him, and we just have to like pee in his mouth.
Oh my God. Oh,
gonna give him the Richmond good morning. Oh no.
Piss have calories?
It's sterile.
There's no way piss has calories.
Oh God. So let's not dwell on that.
I don't think there's any like calories in it. It's just waste.
I didn't want to say
Siri,
poop in his mouth.
Does piss have calories?
I'll say, girls, it smells and tastes really bad.
It's an acquired taste.
Hey, last resort.
There's a reason why this wasn't our first go-to.
I'm gonna shit in this robot's mouth. God, where we go so quickly with this?
You wouldn't like shit directly into it. You'd like poop and then like hand it.
Maybe
wrap it up in a leaf or something. You don't need the psychological
make a
trauma.
Shit sandwich.
It's 2 girls, 1 robot.
Roll it up and slice it into discs.
Saute it.
Fucking soft serve it into a cup and eat it like ice cream.
And
So anyway, we set
shit.
up camp and we're all sitting around the fire. What's next?
Oh,
This is
yeah.
the heart to heart. You asked for character interaction. This is what you fucking get.
All right. I'm afraid to ask for any more. Is there any actual real character interaction, or do we continue and move on to the
That
next
was
day?
real character
Okay,
interaction.
you know what? That's
I
But
guess
no,
we don't have to ask because we would know this already. But Flip doesn't sleep, right? At all.
Flip actually does go to sleep, yes, but it is definitely it's not like a sleep that you guys have. It is like essentially like a sleep mode on a computer, but they are still pretty much just as alert as if they're
But
awake.
it appears to be required.
From what you can tell so far, that they have done it when everyone else has, but you cannot discern if it's something that if they go without for any period of time, it would be negative yet. Like that is not something that you have discerned.
I would assume that after like several days, they would need to rest, do system
we could-
updates.
We could just ask them. Hey, Flip, do you just sleep because the rest of us do, or do you sleep because you have to?
Well, after being in non-sleep mode for a while, I do feel, I guess, tired, but
Okay, that makes sense.
I wouldn't say it's 100% necessary, but it does kind of feel good, like just kind of shutting down for a little bit, you know? It's kind of like relaxing your brain a little bit. I don't know, I guess I have a brain, right?
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. That's what it feels like for me too.
All right, sounds right.
I've only been around for a little over, a week or two, so I haven't really thought about it all that much.
Well, you're sentient now, so start thinking about it.
Oh my
boy.
god.
My brain and thinking stuff.
Welcome to being alive.
I know,
Yeah, you'll
right?
get used to it.
All right, you guys have a wonderful night's sleep. It turns out that Flip snores really, really, really loudly to the point where it's really hard to get. No, they're completely silent. It's all good. And you guys wake up, and it's a brand new day, full of exploration and stuff. I have a thing that you guys will discover at some point, but it requires you going close to the edge of the wall, kind of like the edge in the same way where you found the fruit, like where it's way up against the abyssal wall. So you don't have to go to it necessarily now, but go to the wall at some point.
You guys want to go back to the seeker camp?
Yeah, I'm kind of done with this place.
Maybe look over.
Boy.
Let's
Hey, I
climb
don't
down
know,
into the
y'all,
hole a
but-
little bit.
I don't know. There's for some reason I've just got this feeling like we should go to the wall.
Well, Gil, I've always trust your instincts before, so let's do it.
I got bad vibes off that wall.
I mean, hey, if anything, I need to refill my compression cube with something big, so wouldn't
I
mind.
mean,
hitting
last
up
time we went
hitting
over
up
to the
side.
wall, we grew like 2 inches and got fucking sweet muscles. So
That is true.
Yeah, you guys are looking pretty shredded right now.
Be real embarrassing if Flip was taller than me.
God, it's totally lost on Flip too because they didn't know us before we got shredded.
Yeah.
They just think this is normal. It's fucking bullshit.
Hey, how about this? Let's see how our skills have developed. What do you say we race to the edge?
Oh shit! Yeah, hell yeah!
Oh shit! All right.
Sounds like a terrible idea, but I'm all in.
Is this artifacts included?
Absolutely, it's artifacts included.
What is that even a question?
What's wrong with you?
Sensei gave us permission to go all out this one time.
Oh god! All right, I guess everyone make athletics rolls for this. Let's say it's about a mile to the edge.
I absolutely am gonna use both my hopping to maximum ability and also just swinging around like fucking Spider-Man.
Oh shit! Actually, yeah. So if you're gonna use your frog legs in addition to your athletics roll, you're gonna need to do a proficiency, which isn't much of a problem with you. But like, if like you use your frog legs wrong, you might actually fuck yourself up. So
I don't give a shit.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna win.
I mean,
I'm gonna win.
it'd be
Yeah,
hilarious.
should I do the same? Because I'm going to be using my Doc Ock backpack.
You're gonna be like running around with a third leg.
It have like a
Well-
machete in it, just like hacking off shit in front
Oh,
of it.
hell
like
yeah.
pushing like branches and stuff out of my way.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, so athletics and proficiency.
Yeah, which one do you want us to roll first?
So let's hear exactly what you guys are doing. So Ahi's using a combination of frog legs and her wires to kind of like jump and swing around. Tom, you're just running on foot, but using your Doc Ock hand to essentially eliminate any vegetation from your path.
Yeah, let's say I put like my pickaxe or whatever in the hand of one of the arms, and yeah, they're just like pushing branches and stuff out of the way.
Hell yeah. All right, Gil, what are you doing?
I'm just swinging on my harpoon.
Okay. Are you
Bill,
actually
you're
like...
swinging all wrong. This is how you swing.
Have you
Push
ever...
me, swang.
Have you, like, could you use that as, like, a Spider-Man thing? Even the, how I imagine that your silk wire gloves would work is that you'd, like, latch onto a branch, and after you swung, you would just pull hard, and it would, like,
just
rip
slice
the branch.
that shit off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's extremely destructive. But
God.
it's the abyss. Who cares?
Yeah, hell yeah, I like it. Yeah, how would, Gil, would you be, like, one-arming, like, shooting it out, and then, like, retracting it, and then shooting it again?
It's Batman rules.
I mean, I would have to like retract up to where it went into the tree and then pull it out and then do it again. I can't like swing like Spider-Man.
Right, yeah. I could think of situational modifiers to add for each of you if you guys want to have like a set number and then like the rolls after that will determine like who wins. Or I can just kind of do that in the background and you guys will not know. Well, how do you want to do this?
That's up to you.
I think
Yeah.
give us our modifiers up front so the rolls determine.
Yeah. Okay.
You want us to roll proficiency to see if we can even successfully utilize our modifiers?
We'll have static modifiers and then it'll just come down to the rolls. So I imagine that Ahi would probably be definitely slated to win this. So you have a +3 athletics and a +4 proficiency. So that's +7 in total. I would say your situational modifier with what you were doing here is probably going to be another +3 on top of that. So +10 in total. Would you agree with that?
I mean, it is Willy's world, and you are Willy, so
Oh boy.
Excuse me, it's Narper's numbers.
Narper's numbers. Damn.
All right, Tom, you've got +2 athletics and +3 proficiency, so +5. I don't think your approach is quite as crazy as Ahi's is. I would say it's like a +2. Like, I mean, all you're doing is cutting down branches out of the way, which is definitely helping speeding things up, but you're not literally jumping around at the speed of sound. So you've got a total of +7. And Gil, your athletics is
+4.
+4. And then proficiency is +2. So you're at a +6. Honestly, I think you would probably have the worst time, like, going by this approach just because of the speed at which it, or the time it would take to, like, go to a tree, unhook it, then go to the next tree. It's not quite as fluid. I might give it a +1 or a +2.
So my total would be what, +7?
I'm going to give it a +2, so it'll be a +8 in total. So we've got Tom at +7, Gil at +8, and Ahi at +10. So Ahi, go ahead and do a fate roll, but just a +0.
Alrighty. -3.
Oh boy. So you are at 7 right now. All right. Tom, go for it. Oh shit, you guys are tied up. All right. Let's see. Gil.
Also, while Gil is like doing a few like squats and stretching out before we go, he does look at Flip and he's like, "Hey, you get ready too, kid."
Oh yeah, can we say we explained to him like, okay, we're gonna race, but if you get lost, just like shout for us or something. I don't want to lose him.
Yeah, he nods. Oh shit. Oh boy. I can't believe, God, I should have kept it as a +1. That would, a 3-way tie. That would have been pretty sweet. Well, I shouldn't say a 3-way tie yet because let me just go ahead and
Flip has like a +20.
yeah, kind of, maybe just a little bit. So as soon as you guys start going, Ahi, you get a nice big spring with your frog legs, and you actually get going pretty good. Like, you're a natural at this shit. Like, you've got really high proficiency to start off with. But after a little bit, there's one branch that is a little bit thicker than the rest and doesn't quite completely snap all the way through. And you have to do like 3 or 4 swings just to get it to actually go. And that slows you down by a lot. But
fucking embarrassing.
yeah, but up until that point, you are absolutely in the lead. But they both Tom, who's just like hacking away at the ground, sprinting, he gets ahead of you at that point. And Gil actually flies by using his harpoon. Say something, Gil. Shout at Ahi.
Smell you later.
But all of you are being...
You should be so lucky to smell me! This completely underdeveloped, poorly thought out retort.
But all of you are absolutely getting smoked by Flip, who, like, right from the start, just, like, shoots out his tendril arms and whips away. And, like, within, like, 30 seconds, you just can't even see him anymore. He's just gone.
No. Oh, God.
But don't worry. By the time you guys get to the, quote, finish line, to the edge, he's right there. I'm waiting for you guys. Gil, you manage to hook on to a tree close by to the wall, zip close, and barely reach the edge, touch the wall. And a few seconds later, Ahi, you come swinging in. Tom, you come running in and tap the wall at pretty much the exact same time. Photo finish.
I totally beat you, Ahi.
You want to say that to my face?
No.
That's what I thought.
Under my
She gets
breath.
just fucking pissed off.
Under my breath. I totally won that.
Hey, remember how you two like grew up here your entire lives?
Not in the hole.
Yeah, Gil, do you think we grew up in the hole?
I mean, you grew up around the hole, learning about it.
It's like saying you grew up next to the water, therefore you should be able to breathe underwater.
And Gil, you don't have to be embarrassed. If you thought we grew up in the hole, just admit it. Just admit it now. We're not going to make fun of you or anything.
Yeah, I just really need to know.
Really need to know whether you thought we grew up in the hole.
All right, I don't know exactly where y'all grew up, okay?
We're not like hole people, we just live around the hole. We're around the hole people.
But you
We're
came to my
rim
orphanage
people.
and made fun of it.
Gil, all of a sudden, you notice a scent that you haven't smelled in a little while, but something that you absolutely love and miss dearly. It seems to be a bit of a salty air that is coming from not far away from you guys. It almost smells of the sea.
Wait, do y'all smell that?
I don't know, do we?
I'm legitimately asking to see if like they also pick up on a scent as well.
After you point it out, yes. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, but like you definitely pick it up first because that's like I imagine that Gil like absolutely misses his time being out in the ocean.
We know what the ocean smells like, right? Because it is a big island. Yeah, okay,
Yeah. Even so, like Orth is still pretty shielded from like the direct salt air because it's got the giant hill like all the way around it. So it doesn't quite get that direct sea breeze, but like, yeah, I mean, you know what the ocean smells like.
Okay, yeah, I figured.
I think there's a beat where like it kind of hits Gil that he's been like spending so much time like getting excited that he got a letter from Finn and like getting closer to that he kind of hasn't thought about being out on the ocean like with Marina in a bit.
Aw. Well, it's okay because if you follow your nose a little bit, you kind of like look over and not too far away from you guys, inside the, like on the wall, you can see a pretty large opening to what seems to be a cave system right there. And there seems to be like a salty breeze coming from it.
Salty cave, huh?
Hey, Flip, do you smell it?
That smells a little bit like the seasoning that they put on food.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's not wrong.
They were around the, the sea in the 5th layer, but that is a little bit different than like an actual ocean breeze. This is like oddly, like, it is very reminiscent of the actual ocean up above you.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go check out that ocean air.
Yeah, I mean, y'all grew up in this hole. Have you ever heard of something like the ocean from topside connecting down into the hole?
I mean, it's possible. There's a lot we don't really know about it.
Yeah, have we ever heard of anything like that?
You can do a lore check if you want.
I'll hit that lore once I navigate back.
Hey, if you want, you can just like kind of put your minds together on it, and whatever Tom gets, I'll just add like a +2 to it.
Yep. I'll defer to Tom and bounce off questions that are like 50-50 reasonable.
Right.
That is a 5.
Yeah, so a 7 in total. So Tom, like, you are pretty damn confident that you have never heard of anything like this before. This seems like brand new. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, you. I mean, you're pretty familiar with the sea. Like, you probably went out with your parents to like the actual ocean part, like walked over the hills and Orth and just like sat on the ocean on nice days and stuff. So you recognize that breeze. You can't recall of anything that you've ever heard of that is reminiscent of that exact feeling inside the abyss. The closest thing to that is the sea in the 5th layer, but that isn't necessarily salty in the same way that an ocean sea is.
Well, let's get in there and check this out.
Let's check it out. But now, Gil, I know you don't need me to tell you this, but you know this is not going to be the real sea, so don't let your guard down. This is going to be something fucked up.
Hey, I mean, I've learned not to have any expectations of what's going on here, so might be something fucked up, but it could be part of the sea. Who knows?
I hate that. You know, I hate that answer, Gil. I hate hearing it.
Only one way to find out. Let's head in.
Let's go.
Cool. You guys walk in, and it just seems to be like a pretty normal cave. The closer you get, the stronger that kind of sea breeze gets. And after about 100, 200 feet or so, Tom, you and only you get a little bit of a feeling that about halfway down this cave, you kind of have this like prickly feeling on the back of your neck that's like, it kind of feels like you're being watched or something. You can't quite explain it, but it's almost like someone is like looking at you in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not like directly with their eyeballs, but like you just kind of get this like a little bit of a heebie-jeebie vibe going halfway down. But you're the only one that notices it.
Well, I'm definitely gonna say something.
Okay, what exactly do you say?
I'll do like a shiver, like oh, guys, we are not alone. I feel like something's watching me, watching us. Be on high alert.
I'm always on high alert,
That's true.
but I can set it to extra high alert.
Maximum alert.
Should we roll like a notice to kind of like get our bearings and see if we can discern something?
I will say that, Tom, after you kind of get that feeling, it very quickly goes away. So you can try.
I figured it was going to.
Yeah. You can try and roll notice after Tom points it out if you want.
Should I roll because I'm looking around, or should they roll?
You have the highest notice score, so they would give you support in that. So I'd say, like, including Flip, if you all are just like kind of straining around and really trying to feel it out, then you would have like a pretty high modifier. I would say probably close to the max of +5.
What's the light level like in this cave?
It's pretty dark right now. Like it's like any normal cave, so I guess pitch black if you didn't have your glowstones on.
All right. I will actually flash the sunstone to just give us a quick, better, more light than our headlamps would normally give us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna hit
Power.
that roll.
Cool.
I got a 3.
Yep. I'd say with everyone looking around, I'll give you the maximum modifier score of 5, so you have an 8. The only thing that you guys notice is that it seems like there is maybe one part of the wall that looks like it might have like a little bit of a crack in it that goes to another area, but you can't. It's like so narrow that you can't really see into it. So it's hard to say for sure, like if there's anything there. But if there really was someone watching you, it would probably be coming from this point.
I mean, I do have the busy bug. Is it worth it to send it through, or
The
just
busy
keep
bug wouldn't be
moving?
able. It wouldn't be able to fit through. It's like a tiny sliver.
Well, how can you see through it if it's too small for a bug to fit through?
Remember that bug is massive.
Is it massive? Hang on, let me look at it again.
I thought it was the dimensions of a large. I guess that dragonflies get pretty big.
Yeah, and it's like a massive dragonfly inside. I think it was like 6 inches long, wasn't it?
Hang on, let me...
We have constant arguments over how big it is and also how much it can carry, so...
A small item shaped like a dragonfly, incredibly durable, slightly heavier than the actual bug. And then that's it. Alright, so let's just say how big?
I'm pretty sure it's 6 inches, that is what we said. It was either
6
6
inches long or wide?
long. And I
Okay,
guess the
I was gonna
wingspan would probably be pretty similar as well.
You basically said it's as big as the biggest natural dragonfly could be.
Yeah, which is about that big, right?
I don't know. Do we need to Google?
It's 6 inches. Done. You can write that down in the Abyss notes.
I am writing it now. 6 inches long, 6 inches wide, with the wingspan about the size of the world's biggest dragonfly.
Actually, the largest dragonfly in the world is 5 inches.
Okay, so slightly larger than the largest dragonfly.
Yeah, so pretty much lines up perfectly.
Yeah. Do you guys do anything?
Okay, well let's just keep moving, I guess, since we can't really do anything about it.
All right.
Oh, and can we say before we went in, I got just a full 10-foot diameter ball in my compression cube.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh baby,
Jesus Christ, it's so big.
Should we turn our headlamps on or just move in the dark?
our headlamps are definitely on, right?
I sure would like to be able to see.
Okay, I didn't know if we're trying to go stealth mode.
So you guys continue on for another 100, 200 feet or so. It's kind of hard to tell exactly the distance, but the sea breeze starts getting very, very strong. And after a little bit, you emerge on the other side of this cave, and it opens up into what you can tell. It kind of feels like a giant, massive chamber, but you can't really get your bearings on it because kind of like around this opening area, there seems to be a very thick fog, and you can only see about maybe 50 or so feet. Actually, I'm going to say about 100 feet in front of you. And there are only two things that really catch your eye. One is a sandy beach-like thing that leads up to what appears to be a shoreline, but it's kind of like on the very edge of what you can see. And near it is a sign that is just in the ground right there.
It is a beach episode.
But the sign is too far away for you to read it from here. You're going to have to get quite a bit closer.
Even with his telescoping goggles.
That's actually a good point. Like, if you want to do a investigate roll, Tom, then...
I do. I want to read that sign.
Yeah, see if you can read it from here.
I got a 4.
You can read it. It's like just barely. It looks like it says, "Greetings. Please shout out how exactly you found this place."
What?
I relay that. I say we do it. Does it look handwritten, like hand carved into
Yes.
what is it, wood?
Yep.
Okay. I say we do it. Someone was watching us. They've made a request. Seems rude not to.
This is the Abyss.
You
I
can
don't
still
know.
have manners in the abyss.
It would be unwise to.
What do you think, Gil?
I will say the greetings has an exclamation point after it, if that changes your thoughts.
That does change it.
Oh, yeah, okay, then yeah, go ahead and shout out.
All right, well, before we do it, how would you say we found this place? We just smelled a salty smell and followed into a cave?
Yeah, we followed the salty smell.
Okay. Do you shout that out?
Yeah, Gil, you've got a more authoritative, scary voice. You do it.
You sure? I mean, you read the sign. You seem pretty excited about it.
I got a little boy voice. It's not very intimidating. We need to put up a powerful front.
We smelled it! He
Oh.
shouts while they're fucking quabbling over it.
Cool, you say that. Is that all you say? Does anyone clarify on top of that?
I'll follow up with, wait, the salty smell.
Is that it? Do you just wait from there?
I mean, yeah, I don't want to go shouting like a whole monologue. So,
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Okay, after a few
He
seconds.
prepares for combat.
So, as you came out from the entrance, per se, like where it opened up into this chamber, the sign and the beach-like area is kind of like a 45 degrees to your left. And from where you're at, from straight ahead of you, you can see coming through the fog what appears to be a massive, massive man standing at around 7 feet tall. He looks to be around maybe like in his late 50s, early 60s, because he has got a giant bushy gray beard.
Oh my god, it's Hagrid.
And he is sporting what appears to be somewhat tribal clothing. It seems to be very high quality, but it definitely seems to be made out of like abyssal creatures and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like it was made like in a factory somewhere, like, typical cave raider clothes are. And he walks up, and before you guys can say anything, he raises a hand and puts on a giant smile and says, "Well, greetings, you four. It's nice to see some new faces around here."
Greetings indeed. Name's Gil Hawthorne. Who might you be, friend?
My name is Zorlu, and I am what you could say the leader of this area around here. I just want to make sure. It sounds like you guys just happened to find this place on your own. No one told you how to come here. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You can see him kind of like giving you a little bit of a judgmental eye, but after a few seconds, that kind of just washes away, and you can kind of see a feeling of relief come across his face. And you could tell that he looked like a little bit tense before, like his greeting definitely was genuine, but he was still kind of like sizing you up a little bit. But after you say that, and it seems like you're being genuine, he like completely relaxes. And he goes on and says, "It's been some time since we have gotten new visitors."
We?
Yes, I am actually the leader of a village here that is called Vahan. And occasionally we get visitors from the outside, but it's usually pretty infrequent because, as you probably have found out by the cave, it is on the very edge of the second layer in not super traveled areas. So it's not often that we get unfamiliar faces. So I just wanted to say welcome. Is there any particular reason why you came in the cave? Was it just out of curiosity?
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of unusual to smell the ocean all the way down here.
Yes, we have quite the interesting establishment, and I'd love to show you around. I just want to make sure. It looks like 3 of you are blue whistles, it seems, but the one in the back there, he seems to be somewhat intriguing. How come he isn't wearing a whistle?
It fell off. Can we do a huddle?
Before we answer that question, we need to talk amongst ourselves. No reason.
That's understandable. I'm sorry. I realize that I can come off as somewhat intimidating. I do have a large figure about me.
Hey, it's not just you. I'm sure you understand that running into strangers down here doesn't always work out the best.
He looks at you with a somewhat serious look and says, "Trust me, I know."
Okay, so can we do like a little huddle?
Oh yeah, he lets you.
Okay. Should we say Flip is like my brother or something?
Yeah, that works for now.
And if they ask about the tail, we can just say we both got turned into monsters a little bit because of my arm.
Yeah,
He got a tail and
either
I
that
got
or
an
just
arm.
say it's an artifact. Like, there are way weirder things.
That's a great point.
Hey, how often do people lose their whistles down here?
Actually, yeah. Should I do a lore check for that or?
This is something you wouldn't even have to think about. It would be absolutely something that you would know. It's definitely not very common, but I mean, it does happen. Like, if you get put into difficult situations and for some reason it gets like ripped off, then that does happen. Granted, people covet those things, so they'll usually work pretty hard to not lose them because it's kind of like your status in the abyss, and applying for another one can be, kind of an annoying process. I would imagine they would have to like pay an extra fee or something just to have another one made for you. But yeah, it is not common, but it does happen.
All right, then yeah, his tail's an artifact, and he lost his whistle in a scrap.
The tail is a weird thing, but I've definitely seen weirder.
Sir, you are not in this huddle.
Oh, I thought you were saying that to him.
No, I was confirming with the group.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Don't bring up the tail unless he asks.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. Any other cover stories we need?
It's just any of his weird things are they're just artifacts. He's wearing artifact armor. They're wearing artifact leggings, artifact tail, all that shit.
He's really into cosplay.
No, it's all functional.
Yeah. Okay. Do we still say his name is Flip? That's not a weird name.
I mean, it's a weird name, but his name is Gil and my name's Ahi. I mean,
Yeah, I think the fewer lies the better, but just don't mention any of this unless we're asked, all right?
All right.
probably
Alright.
should have come up with this before we got into this situation.
He is actually like, he is patiently waiting for you guys to huddle. Like he understands what you guys are going through.
Should we go into this town? Aren't we supposed to be like keeping on the down low? Now like a whole village is gonna have seen us with him.
It is pretty obvious that this guy is not a cave raider. Like, he doesn't have a whistle on, and he's wearing like non-cave raider clothes.
I mean, yeah, but it's still like a person that has seen us.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I feel like this isn't someone that's going to go run into Bondrude or the CRG talking about him.
I don't think they'd give the information up willingly, but if he was pumped for information, if someone was like relentlessly looking for Flip.
All right, well, let's see what's going on here, and then first sign of trouble, we can hightail it.
Okay.
But
I am really
he's-
curious about the ocean.
Yeah, he seems like a friendly face, and we haven't met few of those down here.
All right, fair enough.
I'll break the huddle, and then I will walk up to him and like extend him my hand.
Do we do like a 1, 2, 3 break?
Do you answer his question about Flip first, or do you come over and shake hands first?
I won't even reference the question. I'll just walk up and shake his hand.
He happily accepts it. And you can tell, like I said before, he's close to 7 feet tall, massively muscular. And I'm actually going to reveal his looks real quick so you can get a proper idea of what this massive man looks like. There you go. That's kind of what he looks like.
Fucking Horaloo.
Yeah. Imagine that, except with, instead of a scowl, he has a
Just a big ol' smile.
a big smile and not a crown on his head. But otherwise, he looks pretty similar to that and is just as beefy.
But surely his strength is befitting of a crown, right?
Truly. So after he happily shakes your hand, you got a strong grip about you. I noticed that you're missing your right hand. It seems you got a little weird marionette thing going on with you there. What's up with that?
Big fish. You know the drill.
Oh, yeah, can't say I'm a stranger to those kinds of things happening. But luckily, I still got all my hands.
Rub it in, why don't you?
Yeah. Damn, man.
He pulls up like his kilt-like thing, and he's missing both of his legs. No,
Wait, what?
No, he's got both his legs. I'm kidding.
And his dick. All right, so how many of there are you down here in Vahan, you said?
Yeah, that's what we call the settlement here. I'm still a little bit curious about the little girl in the back over there. It looks like they got a full metal body. What's up with that? Is that like some crazy artifact thing you got going on there?
Yeah, cave raiders usually outfit themselves with pretty strong artifacts. I pull up my pant leg a little bit to show off my frog leg and kind of like wiggle my hands around inside my gloves.
Like make my Doc Ock backpack like do a wave.
Right, yeah. And he says, oh, I mean, yeah, it looks like they maybe have had a rough time of it. Either they're really kitted out or they need it to keep going. I'm not really sure, but we can get into specifics later.
You're real curious, aren't you?
Well, I mean, you are new people just kind of waltzing up in here. I'm sure you're curious about me as well.
Meh.
Oh, I'm hurt.
Why are you so big, though?
Oh, yeah, I do gotta, like I said, I have a little bit of an intimidating air about me, and I apologize. I do try and make myself be as approachable as possible, and you hear a voice in the background cut him off, and it sounds like a younger boy, probably teenage, probably around Tom's age, shout out and be like, Zorlu, they seem fine. Can I come out yet? And he has like a slightly like look on his face, like, yes, you can come out now. And from out of the fog pops out a younger looking boy, probably, like I said, pretty much the same age as Tom. And he comes out and says, hey, sorry, he can be a little bit standoffish at times. We just kind of wanted to make sure you guys weren't like evil cave raiders or something. You know, sometimes we get those bandits that come in here and they're pretty nasty. Have you guys had any experiences with people like that before?
Oh yeah, people have tried to murder us multiple times, so don't even worry about it.
Yeah, hence the armor.
So this boy, after he ran out of the fog, is wearing pretty much the same style of clothes that you can see, but the one like defining thing that you can see about him is that on his shoulder he has a little abyssal creature that's just kind of like sitting there, and it looks to be like a feline-esque thing. It's like a cross between like a house cat and like a fox, and it is just sitting on his shoulder, just like looking at you guys.
Tom's about to have a boyfriend.
Is it Evie just hanging out?
Honestly, it kind of looks a little bit like that.
When the boy says that about like the bandits, Gil's like, well, I'm sure you and your little friend there give those bandits what for when they try to come in here, right?
I don't know about that. I'm not exactly much of a fighter per se, but you know, that's what we got this guy for. And he gives a thumbs over to Zorlu.
Zorlu, you take care of anyone that comes in here?
Well, if they start, you know, trying to come in here and smashing shit up, you know, gotta protect ourselves. Sounds like you guys have had similar run-ins in the past.
We've had similar run-ins, and we're kitted out with all kinds of abyssal artifacts. I'm just curious how a man big as you are can take care of these bandits that have the same kind of toys.
Oh, I got artifacts. Don't you worry.
Do tell.
I may just look like a big hunk of meat, and he does a little bit of a flex, but I got stuff going on under the hood as well.
Oh God, are you gonna lift up your kilt again?
Oh God. After he says that, you can hear another voice coming out from the fog, and it sounds like a slightly older voice than the little boy that came out, and it sounds like a young adult woman's voice. And she says, Zorlu, can I turn this off yet? I think we're kind of past the initial introductions. I feel like it'd be better if they could see everyone now. And Zorlu is just like, yeah, all right, yeah, go ahead and kill it. And all of a sudden, the fog completely disappears from around you guys. And you are greeted by probably one of the grandest sights you have ever seen, not only in the Abyss, but probably that you've ever seen. So I'm going to try and paint a little bit of a picture for you. So on your left, you can see that there is essentially what appears to be a small ocean. It expanses out almost as far as the eye can see. And this chamber that you guys are in is probably even bigger than the chamber that you guys were in for the tower, which was unlike anything you had seen before in the past. The first thing that you guys notice is once the fog clears away and you see the sea in front of you, you can see some glistening coming off of it. And when you look up on the ceiling of this place, which is a few hundred feet above you, you can see what appears to be a sun. It is a giant glowing orb that is emitting a ridiculously bright light. So it's almost as if you guys are in daylight at this point. And apart from what you guys just did on the third layer, like I said before, like being in the second layer and just in the Abyss in general, you're just kind of like not used to like bright lights and stuff. So it's almost blinding when it first turns, like when the fog clears and it first turns on. So with that sun, the sea kind of expands like pretty much as far as you can tell. You can see at the opposite side of it, there is a wall, almost like a second wall outwards from the center of the Abyss. And you can see a giant waterfall pouring in from the side. And it seems like it's feeding this mini ocean. And a little bit further to the left, closer to you guys, you can see what appears to be a whirlpool that almost looks like a drain. So it's like the waterfall is feeding this place and the whirlpool drains it, but it is at a level area. Coming to the right of that, like around the entire sea, is a sandy beach. And all the way in the back, kind of closer to the far wall, you can see what appears to be a village. And it's too far away to tell exactly like all the intricacies of the village, but for now you can just see that it's a number of buildings. And then to the right of that, you can see a massive lush forest. From left to right, you can imagine that the sea transitions from sea to sand, and then it turns into like rocks and like a rocky area for a little bit, and then it transitions slowly into dirt, and then into dense forest. And that goes further out than you can see. Pretty much like the forest gets thick in the back, so you can't quite see all the way through it, but you can't see behind it either. Like that's how far back this chamber goes. And within the forest, you can actually see a number of people, looks like dozens of people, along with one person that is heading them that is carrying a spear and is just like looking at you guys attentively. Do you guys have any initial reactions to all of this?
Wow.
That is fair.
I'll just like be staring around like wide-eyed.
After you guys like look and wonder for a bit, Zorlu gives a little chuckle and is like, oh, yeah, that's generally the reaction we get. Our little village that we have in here is a little sanctuary inside the Abyss. We try to make it as homely as possible. I hope it looks interesting to you. And we certainly have made it a little paradise for ourselves.
How many of you live down here?
There are exactly 62 members of our village.
I don't know if that's more or less than I expected. Damn.
There's not a whole lot of us around here, but it's enough to keep everyone going. And we don't have a huge space to work with, but you know, we still explore outside in the main Abyss from time to time, and this place is honestly large enough to house all of us pretty comfortably.
All right, so what now?
The young adult woman voice comes over and says, "It looks like you guys have some interesting artifacts about you. That the little child, boy, girl in the back with the robot body? That seems pretty interesting. And you can tell she kind of has this like big wonderment about her, about like just the artifacts that you guys have in general. And at the same time, the little boy who introduces himself, by the way, my name's Isidon, and he runs over to you, Tom, and he's like, it's been a while since I've actually seen someone my age. There's actually no one around that's a teenager other than me. So you want to like hang out or something? He seems like desperate for attention from someone his age.
Oh god. I'll like look at the group. I don't.
I'm sorry, Tom. I just can't spare you tonight. It's just too important what we're doing.
It's like, oh, don't worry. I can show you around the place. It's fine.
Well, as long as we stay together as a group, sure.
Zorlu says, yeah, well, we actually have guest houses for newcomers. If you would like to stay for a little bit, I'd love to have you. Maybe we can treat you to some meals and stuff like that.
Can I ask why you're happy to have us?
Quite honestly, we just don't get a whole lot of visitors around here. So whenever anyone comes in, we like to see new faces.
Wouldn't not having visitors be like, the purpose of living in a secret underground cave?
Oh, don't worry about all that.
I'm gonna be worried about that.
Yeah, you have a whole fog machine set up and grill people on how we found you. Why do people try to find you?
He gets a kind of somber look on his face, and you can tell like Isidon as well as the young woman there also look a little bit like not like angry or anything. They just look kind of sad. It's just like, we've had some bad run-ins in the past with people trying to raid this place. We like to think that we're still as friendly as we can hope to be. We still do like having people here, but we have to be cautious. I do apologize for the whole fog thing before, but we do kind of have to find out if the people coming in are good or bad or anything like that. And honestly, the biggest tell from you guys is that you're blue whistles. And not to try and be mean or anything, but I think the people here are equipped to handle blue whistles if for some reason you were nefarious in nature. So that's why we're cautious initially, but I can kind of get a feel about you. You don't seem to be bad people.
Fair enough.
Well, alright, let's get the tour then.
Okay. The several dozen people, like kind of near the back. Some of them look a little bit more apprehensive than the like the welcoming party, but like most of them seem like very relieved that you aren't evil people that are like obviously trying to come in here and capitalize off of this place.
Not yet.
Slowly they come around and kind of just like greet themselves and say hello. The young woman in the back that was talking before, she comes over and introduces herself and says, my name is Albaca, and I kind of deal with most of the artifacts around here. So if you guys want to talk artifacts at all, then just let me know.
Believe me, I do want to talk artifacts.
And let me go ahead and drag out the pictures for both Albaca and Isidon. So there's Albaca. It's basically Alex Vance. And there's Isidon.
Look at that cheeky little guy.
Yeah. Does anyone recognize who this is?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
Uh-oh.
No, the only reason I say that is so I won't be accused of just like snagging character traits from a person.
Is that because you have snagged character traits from a person?
Mostly just that they're a feisty, rambunctious young little boy. I don't want to be accused of copy pasting a character in. That it's a Cedro from Berserk. So.
Well, I mean, when our many fans watch this, they're definitely going to accuse you of that.
Yeah, exactly. Isidon goes on and says he's basically starting to give you the tour as other people just kind of say hello and stuff like that. The one other person that stands out among this crowd is the guy that was kind of in front of all of the other people that was holding the spear. And he comes over and introduces himself, and he says, "Well, hello, my name is Warwick. I'm actually the captain of the guard around here, and I just wanted to say hello. It's nice to see a hopefully friendly face."
I'll smile.
This is what he looks like. Does anyone recognize this person?
That looks like it's from Avatar.
Not quite. Okay, no one recognizes it. He's from Vinland Saga, but it's all
Yeah.
good.
What in the hell is that?
Isidon goes and says, like, "You guys want? You can just follow me, and I'll kind of show you around the village and stuff." Everyone's gonna just kind of go back to what they were doing, but I can give you the initial tour.
All right, lead the way.
You guys walk along with them. You guys are just kind of like walking along the beach. Gil, I don't know if this is something that is like nostalgic to you, but this looks like almost like an open ocean. There's even like a little bit of like waves kind of brushing up on the shoreline. It's like not big by any means. It's more just like, large ripples, but it's almost like a beach from the outside again.
Are we walking down close to the water?
Yeah, if you want.
I'll definitely like take a moment to like take off my boots and just kind of like walk in the surf.
Isidon's like, "Oh yeah, I kind of just love walking around in the water. It just feels nice, It's got like a really nice, cool feel to it. It's like not too warm, not too cold. It's like just pleasant enough,
God, I have missed this.
So yeah, you guys walk down to where the village is, and in the process, you kind of like pass underneath that giant floating orb that's above you. Zorlu and Warwick are kind of like just walking with the rest of the villagers, kind of like back to everywhere. You can tell they just kind of wanted everyone to just say hi and greet you, but they're like giving some distance just so you don't feel like overwhelmed with everybody. You know what I mean? Albaka is kind of like catching up to you guys as well, and is like, "What do you guys think of the sun up there? It's pretty cool, right?"
Yeah, I was about to ask, is that an artifact of some type? Did you install that, or is that just naturally occurring? As much as anything can be natural down here.
It's actually something that my parents whipped up together a long time ago. It's a pretty darn clever thing, if I do say so myself. Of course, I was a baby at the time, but I got to vouch for them. Do you know what a sunstone is?
I've heard of them.
Well, if you know how they work off of pressure, right? My parents just had the bright idea of getting like a bunch of the sunstones, pretty much all the sunstones we had, and they put together this contraption that it's like a giant glass ball that in the center of it is like an inflatable bladder, and when you inflate it super hard, they all get pressurized, and all the sunstones start glowing at the top, and they glow indefinitely as long as you have pressure on them. So we have a mechanism over in the town that once you release pressure on the inside ball, it like dims down, so we can almost kind of control it just like it's the outside. So it can be like bright sunlight or nighttime. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Oh.
I like how fucking no one is having this little kid.
Oh, well, that was Albaka saying that, not Isidon's.
Oh, okay.
So,
In that case, oh, damn, that's pretty cool.
yeah, so I was saying that in a little bit too cheerful, chipper tone. I was kind of blending them together. That should have been said in a more calm, relaxed manner, not like a little excited boy.
You said your parents invented that. How long has this village been down here?
Honestly, it's actually been around longer than any of us have records for. We think it's on the order of a couple hundred years, but we're not really sure. We're not really even sure of our origins, whether or not we were early cave raiders that just managed to settle this place, or even some of the original natives. But all we know is that here we are, and we're just kind of live out our days. We do keep a little bit better records than we used to, but that kind of helps go back a few generations as far as our
This
history.
is kind of a weird question, but do they have the Orthian accent, or is it? Do they speak in any one distinct accent as a town? They said they've been disconnected for 100 years or so.
Yes, so they definitely obviously speak your guys' language. Their accent isn't too far off of what you guys are familiar with. It's definitely slightly different, but it's similar enough to seem like it hasn't been far disconnected for like, a millennia or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I also, as a person, don't know anything really about the advancements of like how quickly these things become the case.
Right, yeah. As you guys get closer into town, this is going to be a little bit of exposition because I'm literally being Isidon showing you through the town. The first place that you guys go to is your guys' guest house. And it's actually a few guest houses that are kind of around there because they occasionally just get visitors that come in from time to time. And, they like to show them some decent living while they're staying there. And they show you, or Isidon shows you around your place. After a bit, Albaca actually goes back and says, I'll be in the artifact processing area, and waves you guys goodbye and leaves you with Isidon. Your guys' place, if you want to stay there, it's basically a small little house. While it isn't super huge, it's actually pretty well furnished. Like, the beds look very, very comfortable, and it has some nice just amenities around the place. Yeah. It even has running water and a toilet.
Fuck yeah, I love toilet.
Is it like salt water, like from the small sea right there, or
No.
is it like filtered?
Actually, it's not. It will have been pretty obvious, and I'll be getting to that in just a second, but there's a giant pipe that is coming out of the sea that is going into a building, and lots of pipes are coming off of that building and going out to all of the other buildings. So you can probably infer what's going on there.
Well, dang.
Inside this, in your guys' place, there are 2 bedrooms, each with 2 beds in them. They are separate, like twin-size beds. If you choose to stay here, you can find out how exactly that's gonna work out. Nearby the guest houses is kind of like where all the main residence homes are. And while all the architecture is like pretty similar across the board, like as far as the baseline structure, there's a lot of like decorations. So it seems like various families around here kind of decorate their places. One thing that you did notice, Isidon wasn't kidding when he's like, man, he wants to find someone his age, because the next like oldest person that you could tell was probably Albaca, and she looks to be like in her early 20s. And the next youngest person probably doesn't look to be even 10 years old.
Ah, poor kid.
Yeah, what a shame.
After that, he introduces you to Zorlu's home, which is basically just like kind of at the head of all the other homes. It's slightly larger than all the other houses. He says, is like, well, most of that extra space is actually just has a big meeting room in it. So if Zorlu ever wants to like talk to specific people or whatever, then you can just call them in there. So no one really has any more luxury than anyone else here, but people have their tastes. So you can see all the decorations. People like to accessorize here and there. It then leads you over on to probably the biggest building in the entire place, and that is the cafeteria. It's a like giant building. Also, everything here is made out of like abyssal trees and wood, so it's almost kind of like log cabins in a sense, but more kind of like what you would see out of like Valheim, like those like a Viking type structure. It's log cabins, but like intricate log cabins, if that makes sense. So they do have some aesthetics to them. The cafeteria has enough seating for what appears to be the 62 people that they've said, plus a little bit more. And Isidon says, is like, yeah, we all get together for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And yeah, we've got some cooks in the back. They're pretty much going all the time, just trying to make food for everyone here. So they're hard at work. "Hey, how you guys doing?" And he shouts out to the cooks in the back, and they give him a little wave and say, "Hey, Sidan, good to see you." After that, he shows you guys to the water distribution area, which is where the big pipe kind of like went into the village. And on the inside of it, there's like a giant like mechanical thing in there. And he explains, like, yeah, we take all the salty water that comes in from the waterfall over there and feeds into the little ocean, and this thing purifies it. So it actually separates out salt and makes the water clean. So we got fresh water. And we've also got a big boiler right here that heats up the water that just goes around the camp. So if you want hot water, it all comes from here. And also, we get salt, so we get tasty food, which is great.
Do y'all have meat down here?
Oh yeah, it's not a whole lot, but the biggest thing that we have is fish, because there's actually a surprising number of fish that come out of the waterfall that comes from, that like feeds our little ocean right here. And it's actually fish that don't seem to be abyssal in nature. So that's kind of interesting.
They come out alive?
Yeah, they come through the waterfall. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where they're coming from, but I've never been to the surface before. I don't know, maybe you guys will recognize them. I've heard from the people who have been out to the surface before that it actually is like fish from the regular sea. I don't know. Have you guys? Do you guys have much experience with like being out on the sea at all?
Gil is like salivating profusely.
Like, oh, it looks like you're getting excited, mister.
Yeah, he just really likes fish.
Well, that's good. We got plenty to go around. So after water distribution, he goes to clothing and laundry, which is the place is like, yeah, this is where we have everyone kind of like, if anyone ever needs any clothes, we get some like seamstresses and people who like take care of like leather and stuff like that and dry out the leather and make it useful, and also wash any clothes that need to. He then goes over to the medical hut, and this is actually a pretty small place. It only has a few beds in it, and there's only one person manning it. Like there seems to be a single nurse that's in there. And there's no one that's actually injured at the moment, but she seems to be kind of just like organizing things and stuff. The main takeaway is that in the center of this room, there is a bluish green lamp that when you like kind of walk into it, you get filled with this like warmth that is almost similar to the kind of feeling that you get when the healing artifacts that you've had applied to you in the past, like the straps of stuff that like get put on injuries, like the feeling of that, but it's like throughout your entire body. So it's like this overwhelming sense of just like warmth and calm and like just good feels. And he says, it's like, yeah, we found this artifact a while ago. It's been in here for a few generations, but it actually like heals pretty much all wounds and cures diseases if you stay by it long enough. So luckily, as long as someone doesn't get like super life-threatening injuries, as long as it's sitting here for a little while, you're pretty much fine. It can even, if you manage to bring like a lost limb intact and stuff, if you kind of like put it close together, then it'll actually like fuse it back together. It's crazy.
Huh. Do you think that's also why you guys are so tall?
Well, the only one that was actually that big was Zorlu. Like everyone else just looks like normal sized people.
Well, the other guy's tall. The head guard guy.
Yeah. He's just like normal person tall though. He's like, what did I say? Like 6'4" in his bio. So he's tall, but he's not like a giant.
So the other guy's just like an anomaly. Oh, I thought they were just all large people.
Oh no. Everyone else just looks like normal people.
Aw.
Unless you want them to be all large people.
A race of giants just hiding in this cave.
Yeah. Next, he takes you over to artifact processing, and it's a decently sized building, a little bit bigger than the medical hut, but not quite as big as the other places that you've been to. And Albaca and a couple other people are kind of just like rummaging around, like working on various things. It looks like they have like a few just random artifact works in the process. And she says hello to the party. And it's like, yeah, if you guys ever want to like do anything with artifacts, like let me know. We might be able to make some cool stuff for you if you're interested. Then he takes you over to the bathhouse, which is like basically just a normal bathhouse. It's separated between men and women's side, and each side it has like a giant bathtub in the middle as well as shower stalls on the side. And it even has a small room separated from men and women's that's for families if like you have young children and stuff.
Guess that one's not being used.
I mean, no one's in there at the moment right now, but yeah. Well, we'll say like this is still like kind of early day right now because you guys like did the race like not long after you woke up. So yeah, like no one would be, sweaty from a hard day's work as of yet. From there, he shows you to the farm and pasture, which is where he likes to hang out. So kind of on the edge of the village, but before it gets to the the dense forest area, there's actually a giant field with crops and stuff, and it is filled with all sorts of fruits and vegetables native to the abyss. And there's just a few people out there kind of just plowing the fields and harvesting stuff. And behind that, there's actually a pasture, and in that seems to be some abyssal creatures that are more like pasture animals. So there looks to be cow-esque things and like bird-esque things that look like they lay eggs and stuff. And Isazan's like, yeah, we get like some meat. We don't get it like too often, but it's it's kind of a delicacy when it does happen. We also have people who go outside and like actually hunt because we don't have any large or dangerous creatures in the main forest here. It's all mostly little harmless things. So whenever we want like a big catch, we do have some people who hunt outside and get bigger batches of meat. But otherwise, we just got these guys in here, and we've even got some milk producing things, some egg producing things. So we get our nourishment.
And I assume these are like common animals. Like these are not new to me.
Right, yeah, they would be abyssal creatures that you would probably recognize.
Okay, yeah, I figured.
Yep. But behind that is a larger fenced-in area, and inside that there are a few large and very dangerous-looking abyssal creatures that are in there, and in contrast to like everything else that's been in this village that seems like very peaceful, they probably seem pretty out of place. Do you have any immediate reaction to that?
Yeah, I'm gonna point to them and be like, hey, what's up with that?
Yeah, that's actually don't worry. They're actually way friendlier than you might think. That's actually I worked with Albaca for a while on probably my favorite artifact invention up to this point. It combines a few different things, but check it out. And he whips out of his pocket, it's like a large icosahedron, a D20 looking thing that's about maybe 3 inches in diameter. And he's like, if I manage to like calm a creature down enough or like, get it tired enough to where it's not really running away anymore, I can actually touch this thing up to it and it will like capture the creature. And when it does, it actually
You
Hold on a fucking
motherfucker.
second.
it like makes it docile and stuff. So even some of the biggest, most crazy creatures we've been able to catch and train.
You stole my idea from this morning, you little shit.
I didn't steal it. You requested it. You asked and I delivered.
Alright,
Did she say she wanted Pokemon in the Abyss?
Yes, she literally did.
I said one of the, like, if you need like an artifact idea, like especially for me, it could be like a Pokeball, essentially.
Well, there
So
you go.
when I find my abyss creature undiscovered, I can catch it.
You only have to kill this boy to get it.
Well, there is only one, so they have not made more of these. And this
Well, there's also only one of him and 3 of us. So let's get you some Pokemon, Tom.
But not until he finishes showing you around, at least.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Can you show us that dark area behind all the houses, away from all the people, real quick?
Not yet. There's other cool things to see, but don't worry, that dark area is pretty cool too.
Wait, what?
It's like, all right, we're going to the sea now. Back over that way. So you guys cross back through the village, close to the waterfall, like kind of like actually near the wall of the abyss. There's actually a very large theater-looking area. It's like an amphitheater, and he says, "It's like, yeah, sometimes it gets a little boring around here, so we try to like put on entertainment every now and again, so people can like, put on shows. Like the other week, I actually, after doing some more training with one of those big animals, I kind of showed him off like what he had learned. Yeah, people were pretty impressed with that. We've actually tomorrow we've got one of our residents is doing." Something with like a fire artifact that she had found. So I'm kind of curious to see what that's all about. You guys should stay and check it out.
And where do you guys find so many artifacts so quickly?
So we send out search parties outside, the second layer, but we have other ways as well.
Like what?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Well, we could just cover it just in case it's, killing people that come by.
Trust me. You can do an insight check on me. That is not what we're doing. But that's not for me to say, so I'm not gonna.
All right. Okay. He's totally unconvinced.
That's very fair. And then the last place is the fishing dock right down here. So it is basically just a dock. It's got a little shack outside that has a bunch of fishing supplies. So I don't know if any of you guys like fishing, but the boats that we have here are,
Nah, not really. We can
enough.
just keep going.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything. There might be a few places that I may have forgotten because I tried to think of all of the important places that a small village would have, but may have missed a couple things. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Brothel.
Damn it. How could I forget?
So no head.
The one thing that you guys have noticed is that there is one building that is up against the wall, like where the village kind of meets the wall, and it's kind of like built into the wall that he has not gone over, but everything else he has gone over.
Wait, it's a building built into the wall?
Yeah, it's kind of like there's the like rock wall at the edge, and then there's like the same kind of structure, like a wooden cabin that's kind of like built into the wall slightly.
Does it stand out at all, or is it just...
Not really. It probably only stands out for the fact that he seems to have forgotten it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know where you guys want to, what you want to do. I mean, you don't have to like work or anything. I mean, you just got here. If you want, you can like chillax in the guest house if you want.
Well, what about that building over there?
Which building?
The one you didn't show us. And I point at the building.
Oh, that's got some special stuff on the inside of it.
More special than the thing that cures all diseases and reattaches your limbs?
Maybe, but I'm not at liberty to say. It might be related to the artifact question before, but I can't say. You can ask Orlu about that one.
We promptly march over to Zorlu.
I was like, oh, are you going? Do you want to ask him right now?
I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
I'll like hang out with the kid for a while
Ugh.
and keep him distracted while you guys talk to Zorlu.
Hey, you want to see those animals? I've actually gotten doing some pretty sweet tricks.
I mean, yes. And can I hold your whatever the thing is called?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, isn't it? I call it the Pokeboo.
I meant the like animal on your shoulder.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh, this is Mookie, by the way. I don't think I ever said his name.
Fucking Mookie.
Hey, Nick Potter, you want to try naming that thing one more time?
Yeah, give it one more time. Give it another go.
No, I refuse.
You made it. You have to name it.
Do I? Do I though?
Yeah.
What's wrong with
so.
Mookie, huh? Is that something already?
No,
good on
I'm
the
talking
nose.
about the name of the artifact.
Oh. No, it's no. You guys can name that. I don't give a fuck. You can call that whatever the hell you want.
Okay, it's a Pokeball.
It's the Dusk Ball. It's black. It's not red and white. It's just
Right,
like
that
a solid jet
ball
black.
Sure looks great.
But yeah, I'm gonna hold the little like Vulpix looking thing like a little baby, and then we're gonna go play with some Abyss cows.
Hell yeah. It's kind of obvious, but he is so excited to like talk with someone his age and seems to have an interest in like animals and stuff.
Yeah, we'll go be big fat animal nerds together.
Cool.
Are we sure it's wise to split up, guys? I mean, we don't know these people's intentions.
Do you not want to see a cow sit on command? I mean, you can come with me if you want to see that, but I don't think you do.
God, I just don't care. Yeah, okay, you're right.
Flip and I'll come with you, Ahi.
He looks at Tom leaving, looks over at Gil. So, what are we doing?
I mean, I know exactly what you want to do.
I think I know what you want to do.
I'll back you up for now. We got time.
All right, I guess we leave the kid behind and try to find somebody that can give us real information. So we go over to Varlu and
Zorlu.
Whatever.
He is the tarnished of the Badlands.
Everyone's kind of gone back to doing everything that they were doing, and I was like, as you guys are walking around, people are genuinely like looking friendly to you and like giving you waves and kind of showing off what they're doing and stuff like that. Zorlu is just kind of like speaking with Warwick. When you guys look for him, he's just kind of like near his house right now.
If we just saunter over, are we going to be... We just saunter over to him?
Yeah, go for it.
We do that.
He notices you guys approaching and is like, oh, hey guys. How did you like the tour? Did Isidon show you around? Where is he and little Tom?
They're screwing around with that pocket ball, or whatever he called it.
Oh yeah, I love it when they catch the creatures out there. I like to call them like pocket monsters. You know what I mean?
It's
like
got a ring to it.
Yeah, it's like a monster in your pocket.
Yeah. So he's being really shifty about that building there, and I point over at the one that he didn't want to talk about. Just really, really suspect about it.
So he didn't tell you what was on the inside then?
He did not.
Ah, well, I'll have to praise him for that later. He can be excitable sometimes, as, you know, people that age are, but I appreciate him not going in depth. The one thing I'll say to you guys right now, because I'm not going to divulge what exactly is in there, because it's something that is of incredible value, and the reason I'm not going to divulge it to you right now is it's been one of the main sources that bandits come in here. So until I feel like I can trust you a little bit more, I'd say give it about a week's time, then I'll let you know what's going on there. If you guys want to stick around, put in some hard work for about 7 days, then maybe I'll divulge what exactly is going on. Maybe I'll even show you.
Are we talking like 7 days, or like a work week, like 5 days, or?
Well, we'll do 7 days.
Stingy. All right, fair enough.
Wait. If we gonna be down here working for 7 days, I mean, as much as I appreciate the hospitality and a place to stay, I feel like we deserve a little bit more than just being told about a place.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I mean, are we going to get some kind of compensation other than just information?
I mean, what exactly do you want? Albaca is very talented with artifacts. She can probably whip you guys something up if you asked.
Wait, you guys can make artifacts here?
Yeah, she's actually quite smart. And while we can't necessarily produce them completely from scratch, she's an expert on taking the bits and pieces of various artifacts and kind of making what you want out of it. So Her parents were some of the best inventors that I've ever known. She's taken after them, let's put it that way.
This is kind of blowing Ahi's mind. This is not normal, right? Like,
This is something that is like a little mind blowing, but like this is stuff that's definitely done on the surface. Like, I mean, that's how Jiro and Shiggy made the map thing, right? And
Yeah,
like
It's like the shitty umbrella.
right, exactly. From what you've seen around this place with like the water purification and boiling and the giant sun that's in the sky and everything, like these people seem to be very talented.
all right, well, all he hears from that is like work for 7 days, get a sick ass artifact, and find out what's in the building. So,
Does that seem agreeable to you guys?
yeah.
Cool. I'd say stop by the artifact processing shop and let her know what exactly it is that you're looking for. And maybe in a week's time, Ahi, I mean, if you want to, I could tell you kind of have that glint in your eye for artifacts. You could probably help her out if you want, if you got the talent for it. She goes at a pretty fast pace. I'm not sure you'll fully be able to keep up with her, but
My mind and body are ready.
I imagine just knowing Tom, he's probably going to be hanging out with Isidon and helping him out with the animals a lot.
Here from all the way across. Yeah.
Gil, do you have anything that you think you could help out with around town?
I mean, if you need a few extra sets of hands out on the fishing boats, would be willing to put my expertise in yours.
That's something we've actually kind of been lacking in. The boats that we have aren't super complex. And you've seen them before. Like, they are kind of like run down. You can tell that these people don't have much experience with like boating in general, because like this is the only place in the abyss that like really needs that type of thing. And what they have is kind of like the bare bones to get them by. So they basically just have like some smaller, almost canoe sized things, maybe like rowboat sized, and like fishing nets and like spears and stuff.
How much do you think your people could learn in a week? Because I got a lot to teach.
I mean, if you got something to teach them, I'm sure they'd be happy to hear.
Well, let me take one of them little boats out, see what I can see what kind of fish are in there, and I'll see what I can come up with.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I'd say both you guys should stop by the artifact shop and talk with Albaka. Ahi, you can probably stick around there if you want, and then Gil, I'll introduce you to some of the fishing people.
Hey, real quick, before we get this whole enterprise underway, I mean, it's kind of an obvious question, but why do y'all stay down here away from everybody else?
Honestly, Gil, we've kind of formed a little bit of a paradise down here. I don't want to go tooting our village's horn or anything compared to Orth stuff up there, but I feel like we have a better life than most people out there. There's definitely a lot of people who like to go around and cave raid and put themselves in danger, but everyone here really cares about each other, and we have a good life. And that's why we're so wary of outsiders as well, because there have been a number of times in the past where people have tried to disrupt that life, and we take that seriously.
Well, you guys make it seem like you get your fair share of friendly visitors, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you just trust those that's pass on through to keep this place a secret?
Well, let me introduce you to someone. And he shouts, "Oh God, give me a fucking name. How about Victor? Is Victor good enough?"
Victor is very good.
Okay. And he shouts out, just kind of like to the camp as a whole, and it's like pretty surprising how loud he is. He's like, "Hey, Victor, come over here for a second." And after like a minute, a man around the age of 30 comes over and is like, "Hey, Zorlu, what's up? What's going on?" They're just wondering about, friendly visitors that come by, and I just thought you should explain to them what happens to friendly visitors. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I was actually a cave raider back about 10 years ago, but I found this place and they let me in, and yeah, I've stayed here ever since. I had other people that I was friends with back up on the surface. But when I found this place, I don't know, it's kind of got a little magic to it. You know what I mean? Why would you want to live anywhere else? We kind of got everything you could want here. I've even got myself a wife now. It's crazy. I never thought I could ever find love. I was so bad with the ladies up in north, but I mean, here I am, living my best life.
Well,
Okay.
I can't argue with a man that's found his happiness.
And did you know that Zorlu here actually used to be a cave raider too? And Zorlu looks at him and he's like, Victor, I was trying to keep that kind of on the down low. He's like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you hadn't talked to him about that yet. It's okay. You can continue your work now. He's like, oh, sorry. All right, bye, guys. And he runs off.
I thank him for advancing the narrative before he runs off.
Oh, boy.
What a nice guy.
He's like, you're welcome.
Zorlu, you ashamed of being a former Delver?
It's just a life of mine that is very far away from me. And I have some bad experiences that I don't like to relive often when thinking about it all that much. So
He killed a man.
I won't say that I haven't killed people in the past, but it definitely wasn't out of malicious intent and purely for self-defense.
Pretty hardcore.
Hey, we all got things we've done we ain't proud of.
Wait, hold on. Has anybody in this party not killed somebody?
I was about to say, it's like Zorlu's like, wait, didn't you guys say that you killed people when you first came in as well?
Yeah, let's move on. Just like you said, we didn't kill nobody we didn't have to.
Oh boy.
I mean, have we directly killed anybody though?
I don't think you have actually.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
I think it was
Rookies.
Ozen mostly who fucking
Yeah, we've-
splattered everyone.
We've definitely
Yeah.
gotten the assist, but
It's mostly just wildlife that we've really taken our anger out on.
All right. Well, if you guys want, you can go off to the artifact processing real quick and have a chat. Unless you have any more questions for Zorlu before you go.
No,
well,
I don't think we're going to get a satisfactory answer,
He has given you clear conditions.
but not satisfying ones.
That is fair, yeah. Cool. You guys get to artifact processing, and Albaka says, "Oh, you guys are back. Where's Tom?"
oh, he's playing with Isidon. Playing with a neat little contraption it looks like you guys came up with.
Oh, man, he would not stop talking about that. I slaved on that thing for literally years, but I think it came out okay. I mean, honestly, with the usefulness that thing has had, I mean, we've got some pretty powerful and dangerous creatures that listen to us. It's something I never thought would be possible, but oh boy, it took a lot of work. Pretty proud of it though. So what brings you guys here?
He's just kind of like looking around, like onto the shelves, and like, is there any like obvious sick ass artifacts just laying around?
There is so much random shit in here. Literally, ask me. Hey, I see you're looking around on the shelf. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
This doesn't
Give me
doesn't
your
direct-
wildest fantasies.
I want a gun.
Oh yeah, I got something like that. It's actually even better than the crappy pistols that they have up on the surface, at least from what I hear.
Yeah, I don't even know what Ahi would want the most. She's just kind of taking it all in.
One thing she does notice, she looks at you, Gil, and is like, "Hey, Gil, what's going on with your doll hand kind of situation going on over there?" Like,
Yeah, I was just gonna say Gil is scanning the room for anything that looks kind of like a hand.
believe it or not, we have hunters that go out, and try and get some fresh meat every now and again, just because it's every once in a while the village is really craving for stuff, and unfortunately, every once in a while bad things happen. We've got a few limbs that are lost. But luckily, sometimes they can retrieve limbs, and we can use our healing thing over at the hut to reattach them. But sometimes they get lost for good. I've worked some prosthetics in the past before. I could probably make it something. I mean, it's just a hand. It's not even a full arm.
I mean, as much as I love this thing, and I hold up like the piece of stone grinding against this metal ball, that would be pretty swell.
Yeah. It'll probably take me about 5 or 6 days to get one going from scratch. Let me take your measurements of your other hand real quick, just so I know what I need to work with. And she comes over with like a little ruler and like takes the measurements of your hands and like writes them down in a notebook, and like, yeah, that's something I can work on.
Hey, and while you're working on my new hand, let me know if you need my other one for anything. We already talked to Zorlu. Looks like we're going to be around here for a week helping out.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, I'm glad you're sticking around. She like eyes over and still notices Ahi just scanning the room, drooling at the mouth. It's like, Ahi, you think of anything yet?
What's that? Oh yeah, for sure. So Zingdalder said that you might need an extra hand around here.
I mean, yeah, if you got something to give. Are you interested? Oh man, that is a stupid question. Are you proficient with artifacts? Let's put it that way.
Sorry, what was that? Yeah. Super good at them. I attempt to leap up to the ceiling and then like jump back down from the ceiling with my new legs.
Did you give me a proficiency check?
Oh god, it's the most important proficiency check in my life. Not to make an asshole of myself. 6. It's a 6.
Oh my god.
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
it's fucking perfect. You give like the lightest little spring in your step and you launch up and like you hold your hand up and like just like with one finger barely touch the ceiling. Like it is perfectly controlled and then land back on the ground very gracefully.
And I say, and I can't naturally do that. That's because of an artifact. And I wink.
Smooth.
I would have guessed that.
That's why you're the expert.
All right. Well, yeah, come hang out. I can kind of show you around. She just starts like showing you various artifacts and the various things that she's working on. If you want to, out of character, like literally come up with anything that you can think of that is like within reason, that's not like incredibly insane, then think of it.
Yeah, I'll think about it between sessions.
Yeah, and same goes to you two. I know you kind of already did the hand thing to Zenny, which is, I think, probably a good thing for you, but...
I'm trying to think of like if there's any like extra functionality I want to build into it, but yeah, I mean, even just having a hand that could grasp something would be a vast improvement.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And then after Ahi is just like gone, Gil, so you were left here with Flip. Do you just go straight over to the fishing area?
Yeah, Flip. I mean, if you want to come help me out with fishing, I don't want to tell you what to do. I mean, you could help Tom take care of the animals. You could help Ahi in here. What are you feeling?
I kind of want to stay with you, if that's okay.
All right, well, if I'm going to teach the rest of these villagers how to fish, might as well start with you. This is last person I taught how to fish was Finn.
All right, you go over there, and there's actually there are people in the fishing shack right now that looks like they're about to kind of go out for another like session of trying to catch fish. Yeah, like I said before, they have nothing super fancy like that. They seem they're not inept at anything, but definitely not up to the experience that Gil would be at all.
Hey y'all, I'm Gil Hawthorne. This is Flip. We're just gonna come out and help y'all out if that's all right.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, thanks for like hi. By the way, I know we kind of like brushed up against each other in the first greeting, but it's good to actually talk to you. Do you have a bunch of experience with fishing?
Yeah, it was kind of my entire life.
Oh, that sounds nice. We're kind of just making do with what we got around here. Even like, you know, the information that we get from, you know, just the raiders around here. You know, we get people that come in and stay in from decently frequently, but not very many people seem to have much experience with fishing, just like the really basic stuff, just in like streams and stuff on the Abyss, but never anything that like kind of deals with what we have here. And he like points out to the fucking mini ocean that is there.
Yeah, well, not exactly from Orth. I'm pretty new to this whole Abyss thing, but what I do know is the sea. So
yeah, I was gonna say you're like a blue whistle, but you look like you're in your 40s. It sounds like what brought you here?
My son was drawn to the Abyss like so many others are.
Is this your son right here? I noticed he's got like a kind of a metal body going on here. What's your name, by the way? My name is Flip. That's all he says.
No, this isn't my son. This is Tom's brother, but I'm looking after him for now.
Oh, well, nice to meet you. And he extends his hand out, and Flip, recalling back to the time that Tom did that in the previous episode, is like, oh,
we covered this.
Handshake. Yes, I understand.
I trained him well.
All right, you guys go out on the sea and you show them a thing or two, and you bring back more fish than they have ever gotten, I would imagine, especially with Flip's help. So, like, Flip, like we said, he doesn't have like a whole lot of knowledge about, just the world, but he has a lot of like instinctualness about him. So like he can swim with the best of them, he can run with the best of them, and all that kind of good stuff. So like he's actually just like swimming around in the water and like grabbing stuff with nets. If while you guys are kind of doing your normal thing, if you tell him to do that, I mean, I guess it is completely up to you if you would like even let him do something like that.
I guess I would take a bit to like watch like how they do their fishing, like what kind of like if they use nets or like fishing rods or anything like that.
They literally just go out like on boats with the big nets and like throw it out into the water and like let it sink and bring it up, and are just going around to various places where yeah, we usually get some fish over here and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll help them out with that. Maybe throw them help them with like a more efficient way to throw the net to cover a wider area or something like that.
He makes them so good at fishing that they instantly overfish, and then their generations starve.
I was thinking about that. Yeah.
But I guess we already established that it's fed from outside, so.
Yeah. So you do notice one interesting thing, Gil. Well, the first time you bring up some fish, it is fish that it is tuna and like actual sea fish from the outside. They're not abyssal at all.
So, do y'all know where this waterfall flows from?
Our best guess is actually the edge of like where the second layer is. It's actually kind of like at the base of the mountain, if you will, that stretches out, that comes up into the island. That mountain extends all the way to the sea floor, right? And the second layer is kind of like where that mountain meets the sea floor. And we're kind of on the very, very edges of that point. So our best guess is that it's just close enough to the ocean that there's some caverns that extend out and feed it with just enough water to not flood the place, but also enough to make what you see here. And then on the other side, there's that giant whirlpool. By the way, don't ever go there, because we've had a couple people that have accidentally been sucked up into that whirlpool in the past and were never seen again. We imagine that it probably goes to somewhere down in the abyss and feeds water to various places, but you're probably going to drown before you find out where it goes. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, let's not get our boats too close to it.
Those ducks that keep getting sucked down into those whirlpools.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. Yeah.
What a fucking nightmare.
I have not seen this, and I don't think I want to.
It's a bad time. Yeah, it's a bad time.
Yeah, definitely don't go like using dynamite to make that hole any bigger, because like maybe if it gets too big and like too long, it'll just open up into the ocean floor and then flood the entire abyss. But you never know.
Yeah, I think like this, like Zorlu said, this is the closest to paradise I've seen since being down here. So I ain't trying to ruin it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we try to keep it fun. So you guys rack up a massive amount of fish, like more so than you guys have ever seen. They're all nice and freshly caught. And when you come back, you can bring them straight back to the cafeteria if you want.
I will help them do whatever they normally do with fish.
Cool. Gil, you have provided probably the biggest catch that they've ever had. And usually, like, when it comes to everyone eating, they try and ration it out a bit. But the fact that you guys are here, they kind of want to celebrate just a little bit, have a little bit of a party, just to kind of show you guys a good time. And you have provided that because now they have so much fish to work with. Tom, how you been doing hanging out with Isidon?
We're just giggling like two little boys having fun with Pokemon.
Hell yeah. Do you ride around on the crazy dangerous creatures?
Yeah, so are they actually like following their commands like a trained dog, or is it like a...
Think of it at the level of a trained dog. They aren't quite Pokemon level where they can just like fully understand speech and like use Razor Leaf and they'll do a specific thing, but yeah, they are very well trained.
Do any of them know Razor Leaf?
Give me that stun spore.
Tom, that's up to you. I'll let you decide.
Oh, I mean, obviously they know Razor Leaf. That's rad as fuck. Okay, I mean, yeah, if I can like ride around on like a bird or some shit around this cave, obviously I'm gonna do that.
Oh man, I didn't even think about it being a bird. You know what? No, that's fucking rad as shit. Isidon takes you on his magic carpet ride around the fucking entire cave on some sort of large flying abyssal creature.
Oh my, it's so romantic.
I can show you the cave.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of just how we spend our time. I'm sure there's like questions I could ask him, but I don't know. I'm mostly just interested in riding this bird.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably a pretty overwhelming experience.
Yeah.
And like as you guys are riding around, like people are like waving at you and shit. Like, yeah, that's fucking rad.
Cool flip.
Cool flip. There go those boys riding those birds again.
Cool. You guys do that. Ahi, you and Albaca create some fucking rad thing, whatever you can think of. And she just shows you all sorts of like really rad, cool abyss shit. We'll just say we'll get to that later, what you think of in the future. And it's party time.
Really quick before we do that, can I just try my luck at hectoring her over? Like, so where do you get all these components, though? You have so many of them.
So have you talked to Zorlu about that?
I know we're not supposed to know what's in the fucking building.
Yeah.
Should I just drop it?
She leans in close to you and just whispers in your ear,
It's fucking rad.
I'm not going to say about it here, but did he say he was going to tell you about it? Usually he gives people like, a week or so to kind of feel him out before he starts showing off things like that.
Yeah, he is predictable, isn't he? Yep. 1 week.
Yeah, he's kind of a straightforward guy. He's big and beefy, and I would never want to get into a fight with him, but he's a lovable lump, that's for sure.
All right, I get back to work, and I don't push the subject too many more times. Only like a couple times a day.
Sweet, yeah. The only thing I have for you guys in this next week is the initial party. I don't know if you guys want to play that out right now. I mean, we can, but we can also just like fast forward a week if you want to.
Yeah, you could give us the cliff notes.
I
don't want to skip it, but if nobody's moved to like role play it, but
right, yeah. We'll just say that like the cafeteria food. One thing I will say is, especially with the fish that you guys caught, the chefs there are like really good. Like that they make you guys some delicious food. And Gil, with the seafood that you just caught, this fresh fish that you have loved in the past, it is probably the best thing you've had to eat in months. Pretty much since you left the ocean, and even then, it's really good by that standard.
Just pure mouthgasms.
Flip is feeling the same way. Obviously, it's probably no shitting on the spaghetti, but it's probably the best thing he's ever had as well.
Yeah, I lean into Flip and I'm like, hey kid, this or spaghetti?
I was like, oh, this. I mean, the spaghetti was good, but there was also, I mean, to be fair, that was like, Tupperware spaghetti. Is
Oh, you
from
have
a campfire.
standards now?
No, I'm sure like if you made it like, fresh and out of the pot, that it would be, pretty close. One thing, I mean, is there like fish spaghetti? Like can you combine them? Like, cause this fish is really good.
You can combine anything with spaghetti.
Oh, hell yeah. We should try that sometime. We should tell the chefs about it.
Yeah, that'll be my contribution. I teach them spaghetti.
Ahi, how do you do in this like festival? And I say it's not really a festival, it's just kind of like a getting together, and there actually is alcohol. It is fermented in the back of the cafeteria, and it's kind of like unlike anything that you guys have ever had. It's probably pretty close to like a beer like thing. And it's pretty good. It's not like amazing alcohol, but if you would like to drink and get drunk, you have that opportunity too.
No, I mean, Ahi's having a pretty good time, like, with the artifacts and stuff, but I think she's still going to keep up, like, at least 20% of her guard, like...
Yeah,
just
very fair.
Just in case it was just a long con to stab them and take their artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think she'll get, too litty.
Yeah. There are people that approach you and are like very curious and start asking you guys questions, and just like not like personal things, just kind of like curious about your guys' lives and stuff, because they want to get to know you. Do you think Ahi would like reciprocate that at all?
Yeah, she'll smile and nod, even if the question is not a yes or a no question, or
they get bored with you and they start chatting with Gil and Tom instead, and Finn.
Everything according to plan.
Gil, how would you defend Flip in this situation? Because they're probably going to be a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit overwhelmed.
I think it's just a lot of like talking for him and like trying to keep an eye on him to see what their comfort level is in general.
Right, yeah.
And also trying to rely on Tom for that as well, because the charade is Flip is Tom's brother.
Yeah, I think Flip would be sitting between me and Gil, and I would just like answer on behalf.
Right, yeah.
I also just since this is the first time we've had like an abundance of food, Gil is just curiously just keeps giving Flip food to see like how much he will eat.
He eats a surprising amount. Like, honestly, if you didn't catch all that fish, it might actually be a problem. Because, like, when you keep feeding him stuff, he just keeps eating. He's like, oh, okay, I'll eat it. I'll try it. And it's been, like, probably, like, 10 pounds of food later. Like, at what point would you stop?
Yeah, I think at a certain, like, at the beginning, Phil, Gil. God damn it, you found my real name. Gil is, like, giving Flip food to see that, and also give him something to keep his mouth occupied so people aren't talking to him as much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after it gets to be a noticeable amount of food, Gil's like, all right, little man, you gotta slow down, all right?
Yeah, he's definitely very, like, excited to be eating all of this. Just because it's like a bunch of flavors and stuff that they've never experienced before.
They could eat the bones, too.
I mean, yeah, I think that's actually a good point. I think at the start, it would just be like
fish like a fucking apple.
Yeah, exactly. People are like, wait, what the fuck's going on here? He's just a hungry robot. That's it. It's fine.
He's just really hungry. He's just overexcited.
Cool. Yeah, after the party, they actually have, like, in the center of all of the houses and stuff, there is, like, a campfire, bonfire-esque place, and there's, like, chairs and stuff where people will, at the end of the day, just kind of, like, gather around if they want to and chill out and chat with each other. Would you guys join in with that, or would you turn in early, you think?
I think I would ask Flip what they want to do. Be like, do you want to like just go like tuck in for the night, I'll go with you, so you're not like alone. We can just like go to bed for the night, or do you want to stay and socialize?
Flip actually looks at the bonfire and is seemingly like entranced by it.
Then yeah, I'll go sit with him by the bonfire.
I've never actually seen a fire like this before. It's very pretty.
You know it's hot and you can't touch it, right?
Well, we
Can I
actually
not?
don't know that.
Okay, well, please don't touch it now. We can experiment later.
Cool. Ahi, Gil, would you join in?
Yeah, I mean, there's never a bad time for eavesdropping.
I think Gil would be like playing into like the entertainment part of it, like telling stories about like how he lost his hand or something like that.
Oh, hell yeah. They are so curious to hear about sea life, like, because none of them have ever experienced that before. And even, like, there's a couple other, like, recent cave raiders that have, like, come in. It's not just Victor. There's other people in there, but, like, none of them have any experience with, like, being out on the sea. So they are listening to your every word and, like, eating it up. Any particularly funny stories that you can think of? I don't know. Have we ever delved into how you lost your hand?
I was just trying to remember if we've ever been told that.
I like to imagine it's one of those things where it's like a different story every time Gil tells it.
That's what I was thinking.
Hell yeah. Afterwards, I guess everyone just kind of filters off to bed. How are you guys going to do the sleeping arrangements? I'm actually curious. You've got 2 bedrooms, each with 2 twin beds in them. And if you wanted to, there's actually extra guest houses that are, don't have people in them. You could spread out across houses if you wanted to.
Absolutely not. He will strongly suggest that they stay in the same house.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Also,
Hey.
describe again. You said that Flip doesn't really fall asleep. Is it like, can they still be, kind of conscious while they're resting? Like, can they be a watch while they're resting? Or do they power down?
So think of it this way. It's kind of like when you put a computer to sleep, but it still has, like, sensors active, the lid opening sensor. So, like, Flip is still, like, hearing things and is just alerted just as much as he would be.
Sensitive to light and stuff like that. Like if
Yeah.
somebody opened the door.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. His
What-
eyes are pretty much closed, but, like, they're like, you can tell that they just have, like, very, very good senses in general.
Unless Gil, gives me the stinky eye while I try to explain it, Ahi will attempt to sit Flip down and describe a series of nighttime contingencies in which the main one in which if somebody enters the room while we're sleeping, he is to bolt upright and scream, "I'm having a bad dream."
That's so funny. Oh, God, yes.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. I feel kind of bad for Flip, but
Yeah, Gil will allow that.
I'd say it should be me and Flip in one room since we're supposed to be siblings, and then you 2 in the other. If Gil is amenable to being separated from Flip.
You gonna watch over him now, right?
Like a hawk.
All right, I trust you.
You guys go to sleep, and as you guys are falling asleep, don't hear anything weird or whatever happened. No like rustlings in the night. No one like sneaking around or anything. After about like maybe 2 hours of sleeping, give or take, it's kind of hard to tell exactly how long you've been sleeping, but you all of a sudden hear, "I'm having a bad dream!"
No,
He leaps from bed, weapons ready.
I am awake. I'm up.
You guys look around and you immediately see what appears to be a tiny little abyssal creature walking around on the floor. It's like a little mouse. And you hear someone from a neighboring house be like, are you guys okay? That was really loud. You having a bad dream?
It's abyss nightmares. You know how it is.
Yeah, no, we get that. It's okay. I hope you guys sleep well.
That whole madness. I'm gonna inspect that mouse. Is it a suspicious mouse?
Not even a little bit. It's literally just like an abyss mouse.
Are you sure? Should I do an investigation?
God, you can if you want to.
I'm gonna inspect that mouse so hard. Alright, hang on.
Oh boy, we're going through the roll for it. All right.
Hey, you made me inspect some crumbs before, so I'm gonna inspect this mouse.
You know what? That's fair. With that roll, you understand that it's a mouse and it's looking for food. And it hasn't really found any yet. It hasn't gotten in any cupboards or snacks or anything yet.
Alright, I give him a single, like, spaghetti noodle and send him on its way.
There you go. I guess the one thing to discern from this is that Flip is, like, you gave him that command, he is hypersensitive. Like, none of you would have ever woken up to this little tiny mouse scurrying about, but he sure as hell did.
Well, this is fantastic news to Ahi. Ahi just kind of crouches down in front of him. Now, Flip, absolutely excellent work. It was my fault for not setting up clear enough rules. And then she spends like 20 minutes going over like exactly what should trigger it and what should not, and to the best of her ability, to the point where everybody else is like, can we go back to bed, please?
God, I love it.
Leave him alone, he needs his rest, or they need their rest.
I'm not entirely convinced that they do, but...
Well, it's getting to the point of being rude now. A for effort, but I think we need to rest.
Alright, well, when you get stabbed in the head while you're sleeping, don't come crying to me. Especially because I hate ghosts so much.
Alright, so you guys go back to sleep and sleep through the night. And there are no more interruptions. You guys wake up. It's a brand new day. Oh, and I guess I should say that, when it is nighttime, they actuate the sunstone artifact, so it actually looks like nighttime. And when that goes out, it's pretty much pitch black inside this cave. But at the top of the cave, there are little glowstone pieces in the ceiling, and it almost looks like stars.
Oh, that's just a nice touch.
Yeah. So you guys wake up. Do you do just another regular day's worth of work?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
This is where I kind of do want to fast forward a little bit, because there is a stopping point that I'm going to try to get to before it gets too late. But yeah, we'll just say you guys go through regular work day. The one thing I did want to kind of actually play out was the amphitheater thing that Isidon had mentioned with the person doing the stuff with a fire artifact. So it's like after the hard day's work, everyone kind of comes together, and then after everyone eats dinner, then everyone goes over to the amphitheater, and it's a woman probably in her early 30s or so, and it is it looks like actually two artifacts that she has clasped kind of in her hands, and it's almost kind of like it's wrapping around her hands, and she does a little motion, and two bright flames burst out of each one, and they are multicolored. They are rapidly switching between all the colors of the rainbow, and then she does it again and again and again, and more flames pop out, and she starts waving her hands around, and they start actually dancing around in the air, and she moves her hands a little bit more, and some of the flames combine and start turning into streaks of fire that are going kind of all around the stage and stuff. And then she starts moving with the fire, kind of dancing with it, and it starts twirling around her. During this, it's probably a very, very something unlike anything you guys have ever seen before. As a performance, art-wise, it is something that is beautiful. In the very end, she ends by combining all of the little balls of flame all into one, that combine into one basically giant ball of what looks to be rainbow magma, and then lifts her arms up in the air, and it explodes in a giant plume above the theater, and then just rains little tiny ember sparks all over the crowd that fade right before it actually reaches the ground. Everyone is oh, they love it, so they're eating this up. How do you think you guys would react to that?
Wonder and awe.
Yeah, I'd say I'm eating it up too.
muted clapping as I bash my flesh hand into my stone hand.
Is there any point in time in the next few days, or I guess before this week is up, that you think you would like to perform anything?
Not me.
What do you mean? Just like it's an open mic night or something?
Yeah. Literally, anyone could be like, "Hey guys, I want to do a performance for anyone." This was not scheduled far in advance or anything. It's just like this woman wanted to like show off kind of like what she's been practicing.
Oh, I see.
It could literally be an open night mic. If you wanted to do stand up and like make everyone laugh, like that's perfectly acceptable too. Like it's basically just an avenue for entertainment for people, just because like you can't just have all work, you know. You gotta live a little.
All work and no play.
Maybe we can come back to that later. You guys can think on that for a little bit. The last thing that happens before this week is up, Gil, at the end of the day, the day before you guys are like the week is up essentially, and I imagine Ahi, you've probably been working on this as well. Do you think like you would keep Gil in the dark about like the updates that you guys have been working on with his hand? Or like, do you want it to be a surprise?
Oh yeah, what we've got's gonna blow your dick off. And actually, if you're not careful while using it, it might actually blow your dick off.
Don't worry, I learned to use my left hand.
Oh God.
A wise choice.
Gil, you go up into the shop and Albach is like, all right, this is probably going to hurt a little bit at first, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. And she has what appears to be a pretty almost one-to-one copy of your left hand, except right hand, obviously. But it is made out of kind of like metal alloy. It looks to be like abyssal in nature. And there seems to be like almost like mechanisms going on the inside of it. But they're all protected by the outer sheath of it, so it looks very durable. She's like, "Is it okay if I prep your stump area real quick? I've got some alcohol swabs here that I'd like to clean off before I attach this thing for you."
Do what you got to do.
Cool. So she does that. You hold out your little stump hand, and she presses the hand up against it, and then she presses a button on the side of it, and you can feel this immense sharp pain as it feels like dozens of needles actually like shoot out from the wrist of this hand and go into the stump of your arm. And it's really, really painful for about 10 seconds, but then it starts to subside. And then all of a sudden you have feeling again in your fingertips, something that you haven't felt in a really long time. And you look down at your hand, and when you try and move it, it moves with you. And you have a feeling working hand again.
You helped make this thing?
I did, correct, Potter?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I wanted to put little, you know how about blowing your dick off? I wanted to put little rockets in the fingertips, but it didn't really pan out. I hope you still like it.
It's perfect. Help me break it in, and I hold out my hand for a high five.
She goes for it full force.
It feels like you're slapping a piece of metal.
Does her best not to cringe.
So the hand is still metal. It's just I have like sensation from it.
Yes, yeah, it's almost like you have nerve endings throughout it.
It's fucking rad.
Check out the crush force on that bad boy. And I hand him like, I don't know, a stone.
It's not quite powerful enough to just crush a stone, but it is definitely stronger than a normal hand.
Let me can I borrow the sunstone real quick?
You bet your asshole.
You grab it and like
well,
normal...
I squeeze it with my left hand first.
Yeah.
And then I toss it into my right hand and squeeze just to see like comparatively how bright it gets.
Oh yeah. So if you remember, this is actually something from like a while ago. There is a cap to the brightness of each individual sunstone, and you were just like barely able to get it with your real hand, squeezing as hard as you could. with your non-dominant hand, with your, I guess, non-real hand, your new hand, it feels like you're only squeezing about like maybe a quarter to a half as hard as you need to, and it is easily glowing full brightness. So it's anywhere from like maybe 2 to 4 times as strong as a normal hand. So it doesn't have insane crushing power, but it is still very, very, very strong.
Hell yeah. I immediately then go to shake Albaka's hand as well.
Yeah, it took a little while, and I had to put some other things off to the side, but I think it was worth it. You know, I've done these a number of times before, so I kind of have a lot of experience with them. It's a pretty straightforward process, but yeah, I think this one actually turned out pretty darn good.
This means an awful lot. You don't even know.
You're welcome. She gives you a thumbs up.
Hey, you want to hear something funny?
What's that?
I lean forward and I whisper in her ear the actual way I lost my hand, but she's the only one that actually hears it.
Oh, come on.
I imagine not even Ahi and Tom know.
No, they don't.
Will the audience ever know?
Never. I'll take it to my grave.
Do you currently actually have something in your mind for how it happened?
Yes, I do know.
Son of a bitch.
God, I love it. Only Albaka will know this fictional character. Damn. Okay, so the next day, it has now been a week. Do you guys go up to Zorlu just like you did before? And is it all of you this time?
Yeah, I come.
Okay.
I try to convince
And then we
my
go to
mentor
Zorlu's
to come
house.
along to bully him into telling us.
He's just kind of doing normal leadership things, whatever leaders do, kind of just coordinating people. And we'll say he's like kind of in his like meeting room inside of his house right now, just chatting with some people. He sees the guys walk in. He's like, "Has it been a week already? What do you guys think of the place?"
I give it 2 thumbs up.
Oh, look at that! You got your hand back. So Albaka did a good job, I take it?
The best job. Of course, with Ahi's help here.
Just a bit.
Oh, I'm glad you're able to help her. And Tom, how's the training of the animals going, and the managing of the pasture?
Oh, it's been a blast, sir.
Yeah, I saw you guys riding around on the whatever the fucking flying creature is called. You can come up with a name for it if you want.
Flying.
Tony.
Yep.
Oh, the flying Tony. Cool. Yeah, I saw you guys going around on the flying Tony. Okay, you know what? You know what, Tom? I'm a little jealous. I'm too big to fit on that thing. And that looks pretty amazing.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That is sad.
Yeah, maybe someday we'll be able to get like a really big one that can hold me.
That's the dream, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys, you've definitely helped out substantially around here. Gil, we had the best feast I think we've ever had the other night when you first got in. I appreciate it. Everything's looking great. And then he all of a sudden gets a very serious look on his face. And he says, "If I tell you about this, no one else can ever know that is outside from here. Do you understand?"
Yes, sir.
I want to hear it from all 3 of you.
We understand.
Fair enough.
He stands up and he's like, "You're 100% sure? You give me your word." I want to hear it from all 3 of you. Again, your word, 100%.
You have our word, 100%.
Absolutely.
We
You
will
have our
not speak
word.
of this to anyone outside this village.
All right. Come on, let's go. And he walks out and bids adieu to the people he was chatting with. And you guys walk into that shack. It's a small little thing. And on the inside of it, there seems to be like a little inlaid part of the cave. Like it just goes in like maybe 10 feet or so. And on the inside of it is what appears to be like a circular structure. And on the side of it appears to be like a thing that you can insert into it. And he walks up to it, and he reaches down into his shirt and pulls out what looks to be like something that looks like a key. And it is wrapped lanyard fashion around his neck. And he goes up to it and puts it in that slot and turns the key. And all of a sudden, you can see a bunch of lights whirl up within that circle. And it almost looks like a sideways whirlpool, if you will. And he says, "Why don't you guys step in through here?" And he motions in and then walks through.
It looks like a portal or something?
I mean, if that's what your interpretation is, yeah.
I just meant, like, I'm trying to understand what the visuals of what you're describing.
It does look like that, yes.
Okay.
Do you guys walk through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we worked for.
You guys walk through. A crazy sensation comes over your bodies, and you guys basically feel like you're kind of being like thrashed around for a little bit. It almost feels like you're just in the middle of nothingness. And it lasts all of about 5, maybe 10 seconds. It's kind of hard to even tell, but before you know it, you guys are fully aware of where you are. And it seems to be a somewhat similar situation on the other side. You're seemingly inlaid inside of a small cave, but instead of a building being on the other side, it seems to be like a very, very thick set of vegetation. You can hear from the other side Zorlu yell out and say, "Yeah, the first time's always a bit of a doozy, but I think this side is going to be even more of a doozy." And when you guys walk out, you see giant structures that look like cups that hold water that are massive in size, unlike anything that you've ever seen before. Ahi, Tom, you probably have a pretty good understanding of what you are seeing right now, because you are in the 4th layer. You are in the Goblets of Giants.
Oh shit.
This is how we get our artifacts, because we have the best ticket to some of the most interesting places around here. And that's it for today!
Dun, dun, dun.